All right. Welcome to the UPL Season 11 Power Rankings for me and JK41.
Hello there, and big thanks to Zico for doing this with me. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully you find it fun as well.
Yeah,
You being the
I'm.
viewers, but also you.
Yes, agreed. Um, all right. Do we want to just head straight into the first team with Middy then?
Oh yeah, let's go for it. What do you think about Middy's team this time around?
I think Middy's team is really scary. I think it is one of the better teams. I'm doing the same thing as last time for reference. I gave, well, kind of. I gave every team a pain ranking, a weakness rating, and a versatility ranking. And I gave this one a 10 out of 10 on pain. I don't want to fight this team like at all. Scizor, Mega Zygarde, Clefable, and Slowbro especially. And I'm not sure if it's a personal thing, but I'm always just really scared of Infernape.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. I don't think I've ever seen Infernape in like any draft league I've ever been in like do well when it's drafted, but this mon has so much potential, and in the right hands, I think it's like a disgusting tier two. It's really good.
Exactly. Um, I I also gave it a 10 on versatility. I think
Oh
that
my god.
pretty much everything on this team has a lot of options. Electros is generally always going to be a pivot, and Obstagoon is not Obstagoon. Shoot,
Double.
yeah, no, Archeops and Electros are going to be pretty consistently the same. Cryogonal similarly, but like Zygarde has bulky and Dragon Dance sets to go through. Scizor can be bulky or offensive, pivot, anything. Clefable, I'm constantly scared of the set. Being in unaware magic guard or setup or just another pivot like everything else. Double and Obstagoon have good. Double and Obstagoon aren't super versatile, but they have enough variety to keep things interesting, especially Double with Baton Pass. And Infernape just honestly just the difference between being a special attacker and physical attacker is enough versatility in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Archeops has that same versatility as well, and so does Electros. And Electros has like coverage moves like for days. So like honestly, even if you see Electros in like the team preview, you can't just be like, oh, I know it's gonna carry these moves. So,
That
like it's
is
still like not. It's still scary. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally true. I totally forgot that people were running like Power Herb Archeops lately. I've
Yeah.
seen it a
Meteor
bunch.
beam. It gets meteor beam. Yeah. Like and especially because stab rock that doesn't miss. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd sign myself up for power jump Archeops any day of the week. But like, yeah,
absolutely.
that kind of it's funny you mentioned like specifically like Mega Caesar, Zygarde, Slowbro, and like a Fable, because in my notes I had those exact same like those four mons at the top are insane. And the low tiers here are also like insane. Like Argeops, I think, is one of the best tier fives. Krogonal, as much as I hate them on, I think
Hmm.
it's good value for what it brings. And
Agreed.
Electros is insane value as well. Very, very, very solid mon. Can't
Yeah.
go wrong with it. Roserade is underrated as well. I'm not sure if about Obstagoon, but if that's like if there's only one mon that I'm like on the whole team, like that's honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think like the one like biggest downfall is that like there's a like it sounds stupid, but there's a big gap of speed between the Obstagoon, Zygarde, and Clefable. The Wool doesn't count in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like
Agreed.
I don't think it's gonna like be brought. It's only gonna be brought for like baton pass like cotton guard memes, and if it's brought for something out of that, then credit to me.
Hmm.
But so like a lot of mons that are like for example like Nidoking could just go full bulk on this team,
Yeah.
and that's like really scary. Like so that's like the one knock on it, but yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think this is a good team.
I also, oh, just to finish off my last two things.
Yeah, sorry.
No, no worries. Please, because the weakness is actually an 8 out of 10. I think that this team will work really well, but I still think that there are like it has good defensive cores, but I think that if you can it's hard to describe exactly what I mean, but like I think that there's oh now I remember. I think that like specifically setup mons will like if a good setup mon with like a dragon dance mon comes on field, there's not a lot of good answers for it. Like
Time to see if Shane is one of the outer conference matchups. Then I
yeah,
guess.
pretty much. I think that like that
Yeah, wait,
specific
Jar actually
matchup,
destroys this team.
pretty much. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like there's just it's not a big weakness, but like there's definitely I feel like a subset of Dragon Dance Mon especially that will just eat through the team if it actually gets the chance to set up.
So like, yeah, it's not the end of the world because like Scarf Archeops can give you like an out if as long as you don't. But like if you let it get set up to +2, you're doing something wrong anyways. So like Scarf
Mm-hmm.
Archeops lets you like come in on +1 and like maybe revenge kill it, but like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree with that. Setup sweepers are an issue. I mean, well, unaware Clefable aside.
true. I God, I forgot. I literally just mentioned that. But that does mean that it has to run unaware if it's scared of setup sweepers, and that kind of limits what makes Clefable really scary, in my opinion, which is that you don't know whether you have to toxic it or set up against it.
Exactly. So you just have to like hit it with your strongest move and pray.
And speaking of, the one difference in what I'm doing from last time is instead of style, I'm giving every team a Pokemon on its team that I think best fits the general style of the team, and this one is Clefable. It is
Hey.
just a lot of good versatility options, and if you prepare for the wrong things, like Swords Dance Mega Scissor, who would not prepare for that? Me. You will lose to it, and
I
that's
mean, we
my.
all know. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, we all know that deep down Mega Caesar is bad anyways.
It's true. It
So
is.
so yeah. No, but I do expect this team to like do well. So
Yeah.
uh,
Ready for the next?
yeah, let's see it. We have our first new coach, Oremity and the Seattle Town Flames. You wanna say what you think about this team first?
I like a lot of things on it, but I don't know what it's going to do. This is a really weird statement, but I think this team was genuinely better with Butterfree than Lavani, and that is a weird thing. That is
So
a weird state to have to say that.
as somebody who brought Levani to finals in this league, that makes me sad. But honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. Cause like they're both dying to strong fire attacks anyways, and like,
Oh,
but I do, yeah. Why do you
I
think Butterfree's better? I'm just curious, actually.
I don't think
If you can
Butterfree's
answer.
better. I think it's just better for this team. Under almost any other circumstance, I think Lavani would be great. But I don't think this team super benefits from a webs setter. Um,
I kind of disagree, actually.
that's fair. I
But
it definitely has Pokemon that will benefit from it, like Lando and Komodo potentially, but like Silvally isn't particularly in need of being faster than a lot of things.
you
It's
haven't ran Banded Silvally before, have you?
no, I always run Scarf for the scouting potential. We know this.
That's fair. I know this. Shame
Uh,
on me.
no, you're fine. Um, and I guess Celesteela to a degree, but well, yeah, I don't know. I just think that I weirdly think that like Sleep Powder Quiver Dance would do more here than Webs. I guess is
Hmm.
the reason I thought that.
And it does pair decently well with Aurora Veil. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
in agreement with you on your first point that like I like a lot of the Mons individually here, but like together I have no idea what's happening. And I think like Craft and T4 you mentioned like a similar thing in their video where
Yeah.
like the synergy's just not here. I will say though, I really like Komodo. It was on the team. Obviously, I'm biased because it was on my season 8 team when I won. But
Mm-hmm.
like this thing, I can guarantee you, people try to hone in on the fact that Komodo needs to Omni Boost to do well. No, it doesn't.
Oh, it
The
absolutely
Omni
doesn't.
Boost, the Omni Boost actually sucks now in my opinion because you sacrifice 33% of your health. But Komodo Ninetales Alola is actually sneaky good combination because Overcoat, you have the Overcoat play. You have
Oh.
Komodo under screens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have basically a fairy dragon. The fairy dragon steel here is really good. Ninetales
True.
Celestial Komodo. but like that's it.
Yeah.
That's like it. Mega Venu just feels like sure it's good under screens, but where's the damage on this team? That's what I want to know, right? Like like if your main damage dealer is Komodo, there's a problem, and
Yeah,
that's kind of how
agreed.
I feel about this team. Um, and there is decent pivoting potential, even though it's like in weird places. That we have two parting shots, which I love.
Oh,
Um,
agreed.
Teleport Magmar is a big meme, but like I want to see it.
Oh, for
And
sure.
Jolteon obviously can switch. Um, and there is like some setup potential here. Like we have obviously like SD Silvally, we have Nasty Pot Ninetales if you want to go that route. We have Automatize Celesteela. There are options here, but just there's this. I don't see how any of these things are going to be able to set up safely because of the way the team is structured.
Yep,
That's my biggest complaint.
definitely agreed. I don't have too much extra to say. I gave it like an 8 on versatility, an 8 on weakness because the Dragon Fairy Steel Core is really good and Mega Venusaur is just always hard to kill, but otherwise there's not really too much keeping it alive. Maybe 7 was more accurate. And then Pain is also 7. I'm not scared of this team. I think it's fine.
Same. Yeah.
And
Like
its designated mon is Komodo, which is Komodo is weird and it kind of works well. It doesn't look like it should work well, at least in theory, in my opinion, because its stats are really weird and it's
it's
four
so
times weak to
versatile
fairy,
though.
but it's definitely versatile, and I think this team has some decent versatility.
And it's funny you mentioned quad weak to fairy because Pangoro is also quad weak to fairy. I mean, we have like some fairy resists here, like Tentacruel, Venusaur, and Celesteela, but like and Magmar, I guess. But like, yeah, like I'm like memeing on Magmar, but I'm actually really curious to see how this plays out for it.
Yeah,
I feel bad on like dumping on this team without like giving like potential suggestions to make it better. But like, I don't know.
yeah, I
Like,
would.
yeah,
Oh
go ahead.
man,
I
no,
don't know. This needs some more offense, but I don't like I think Pangoro needs to go. You don't need two parting shotters, and Pangoro's like too slow to really do anything. And even under screens, a fairy attack is killing it.
yeah, I think Pangoro should probably go. And if you're ever getting, no, that doesn't really work. Yeah, I wish I had more to say, but it's almost so incoherent that I just don't even know where you'd start on
Yeah,
anything one way or the other.
and I think this coach already used one of their trades
They used
for
two
or
of
two,
them
two.
to
Right, I'm looking
Colossal
at it right now. Yeah.
for Magmar.
Oh, so there's only one trade to work with, which yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I
Well,
hope that the team works somehow, but
yeah, I
I
want to
just
see it work.
don't know how. Ready for
Well,
next?
Oremity prove us wrong. Yeah, I'm ready for next.
Cuppas.
Yeah, Cuppa. Well, what a bastard. He took all the good value
He
picks
took
straight
all
up.
of the good value picks. God.
Yeah, like I think Charwai is underrated. Like people cry and whine about it being quad weak to Stealth Rocks. It doesn't matter. Just literally you have 10 other team slots.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't. And this team doesn't. Charwai doesn't need a Sun part. It would like a Sun partner, like a Chlorophyll Monitor something to abuse Sun, but it doesn't need to. It basically treating the Sun as a self-sufficient boost the moment you switch in.
Yep.
And Rain is in his division, so it helps with that a little bit at least.
Yeah. And
Um,
I think
yeah,
let's see, one, two, three, and he's got like 4 removal mons, not counting Charwy, because I don't think if you have to, if Charwy has to remove the hazards, the problem is you've already damaged your Charizard Y with hazards, which is not ideal.
what is it? Mew? Oh, I forgot Conkeldurr gets default. That's
Yeah,
so
Conkeldurr
stupid.
gets defog, which I will never understand. But
Oh,
Comfey and
what a
Swallow
meme.
too.
Yep. And that's the
I
thing. I love the low tiers on this team. Swellow's dummy good. Like,
yeah.
I think
Let's
Regice
see.
is also insane. Like in my opinion, Regice is better than Cryogonal. If you don't need Rapid Spin, it's better than Cryogonal.
Oh,
Changed my
super
mind.
agreed. Reggie
Like,
Ice and Pillow Swine are some Pillow Swine's the other tier 4, right? Yeah.
yeah, Regice is tier 5, yeah.
Oh,
And Pillswine's tier 4.
Swallow's tier 4. That's
How's it tier
effing
4?
wild.
Yeah, I think it's generally tier 4, but like it Specs Boomburst literally just doesn't care
That's
about your
fair.
feeling. It just like hits. Oh, he does get boosted Heat Wave and Sun. That is like one synergy he has, I guess.
Oh, true.
All the boosted fire punches on this team.
The most important thing, though, that I have to say about this team is that Indeedee Scolipede is here, and that should terrify everyone that has to fight it.
Oh my god, wait, you're right. I didn't even notice that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's from my first season, and boy howdy, the representation of this team is Scolipede, which is I think that if this team is allowed to like set up in the right position, it'll just destroy your team. Like Kinkelder can just eat through the walls if you let it guts up.
Oh, speed boosted conk sounds terrifying. Wait up.
Yeah. Scolipede on its own can just set up sweep with Swords Dance speed boost. Indeedee, if it comes in on the right thing, will probably kill something with a Specs expanding force. Fire Blast Char Y will just eat things in general, and there's probably some weird setup situations that Mew can just eat. And Comphase here in the same situation. God,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, like yeah, go
it's
ahead, sorry.
just no. I'm sorry. This team has like a solid 10 in pain just because there's so many ways for it to like just sweep through somebody's team.
I'm glad like you're so high on Scolipede because that was actually me and Cuppa were talking about, and I'm like, you should draft Scolipede, and he's
Oh
like, I should
god.
draft Scolipede, and then that happened, so it worked out. But yeah, like I think this team is fat, but it's also fast, and like literally everything on this team can be a win con in any given week, which is the dumbest thing ever,
Yeah.
and I hate it. Makes it really hard to prep for. Like
Yeah.
this, he doesn't even need to draft Ditto for this team to be insane to prep for.
I gave it
He has
a
Mew though.
I gave it a 10 on versatility similarly because
Yeah.
it's got just everything on this team has solid versatility. Even like I think like the least versatile mon here are like the ice types, but even Pillow Swine can be like full bulk versus offensive bulk. And I don't actually know enough about Regiite's moves pool to like say what it can
It gets
do.
Bolt Beam. That's all it needs.
Fair enough.
Like slap an AV on it, and it literally just doesn't die.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And with wish support from VAP, it's like yeah, it gets Focus Blast too, but I hate Focus Blast. Its move pool is like not like the biggest thing in the world, but it's certainly bigger than legendaries and mythicals get nowadays. So
Fair enough, yeah. Um and 8 for weakness because it's bulky, but I think I forget what the weakness is offhand. Oh yeah, it is kind of rocks weak still. It can
yeah,
pretty easily get rid of the rocks, but if you only have like one defogger and it dies, you're in a bit of a bad situation.
it's actually kind of funny because I was also talking to Cuppa about this today. In fact,
Oh,
we were talking about how like his team is like kind of rock weak, but like but basically they're gonna bring rocks because Char Y is on this team, so you can kind of like plan around it, so it works both ways.
yeah,
But I
true.
think his only like removal that isn't weak to rock is like Comfy and Conk, and they don't really want to run defog. Like Comfy doesn't mind, but then it can't like stored power, calm mind stuff.
Yeah, so Mew
Um,
is kind of your safest. Mew and
yeah,
is your safest defogger, which is not great for something that is main goal is versatility to always be
mhm.
put in a defog role. But
Yeah, something's gonna be forced to defog that doesn't want to, and that includes Swellow, right? Because you normally want it like specs, and
yeah,
now it's like, oh, I guess I'm just specs defogging now.
yep,
That's like the one like downfall, I guess.
pretty much. Ready for Bucs?
Yeah, let's see it.
Bucs.
Rain, fun.
So it's funny because everybody is focusing on the rain, but I'm gonna be honest. I look at this team and all I can think is that this is secretly just a stall team in
Yeah,
disguise.
yeah, dude. Deoxys D is insane. Like I like
Deoxys D,
people are
Scissor,
underrating it.
Miltank,
Yeah.
Gudra, even Coco to a degree with light clay sets. Like
Yep.
this team looks like something that has rain for the purpose of making sure that Scissor is even harder to kill primarily.
And regular Caesar, in my opinion, is more versatile than Mega Caesar because
It can run
he does like
items.
yeah, you can run items. You can run Bandit Caesar. You could run Life, or you can run Okaberry. You can run like there's a lot of things you can do. But yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you. The defense of this team is its strong point. I think Bucks is starting to lean more and more to that in his drafts. Like he drafts like super fat teams now,
Hmm.
past couple seasons. Um, the one thing I don't like here is I know Lucky helped Bucks draft this team, and I know they were going really hard on the grass resist specifically for Mega Perp, but you went a bit too overkill here. I don't think you need Miltank. The only reason Miltank is here is for rocks
Yeah.
to ease pressure off of Deoxys defense, but you don't need two step sippers. I guess like thick fat Miltank is fine, but I don't like Miltank here really. That's my only like
Yeah.
and I don't like hard rain in draft, but this isn't like hard rain. It's only like hard rain.
Hmm.
Um,
I I think that the fact, yeah, I'm super agreed on that. Like the fact that Miltank and Porygon Z are here, like I hate to say it, but like I know this doesn't work with the points, but all I can think about is how if those two normal types were just Chansey or Blissey instead, this team would be the biggest stall team and most insane pain to fight. But like Miltank and
mhm.
Porygon Z are good, but Miltank's definitely just overkill on grass resist and just the general bulk because you also have Goodra on the special front, and I think
Exactly.
Miltank's normally
Yeah,
a special defender.
correct. Yeah, Gudra and Miltank have too much overlap, in my opinion, for how they want to function on this team.
Hmm.
Like I said, the only thing Miltank provides is rocks. I think PZ is actually really good here though, because if PZ wasn't here, this team's special attack, I
Is
wouldn't have to
Coco.
worry about it.
Yeah,
And that's base 95, and with the terrain nerf and Gen 8, like,
true.
it exists. Uh, and that's the other thing, right? It would force Coco into being like a special attacker, which means you can't run screens, you can't run physical for whatever reason you'd want to do that.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So like as much as I want to like this team, I think it's more flawed than people are seeing it as. And like also, I don't really like the low tiers, but that kind of like feeds into the melting point. I don't really like Ludicolo here that much. I think Talonflame is like, eh.
Yeah, I would have to look at the tiers right now and maybe even the points because I think that the team is very clearly focused on the top heavy elements of
Yes.
itself. So there's not too much you can do to like there is no reasonable way to drop something for Chansey like I was joking about without like
Yeah.
completely dropping the rain in some way. I guess you could like pick a low tier mega to get Kingdra as your rain sweeper, and then maybe something can go up in points to Chansey.
I mean, Miltank is a tier 4, so you'd have to like drop like PZ, I think,
Oh
to
yeah,
something
no, that's
like
not
a tier
ideal
5.
either.
Yeah, not ideal. Yeah. I mean, like there
Yeah.
are some decent synergies. Like Talonflame could spam Hurricane and Rain, I guess.
Hmm.
Garbiter is here for toxic spikes, but like that's it. I don't
Yeah.
like Garbiter here at all, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to I don't want to feel like I'm just like dumping on this team because the consensus seemed to be that this team is like really strong from what the
Hmm.
majority of the league was saying. I just don't think it's as strong as people are saying, and I hope the reasons I'm giving are concrete enough to
Yeah.
back that up.
I'm giving this team a 7 on versatility because again, I think it's the rain. It's going to be a rain focused in a weird way or pure defense, and you have good versatility there. But I think it's going to be an either or situation most weeks. I don't think there's going to be anything that's not full bulk or rain coming. That said, 10 out of 10 on weakness. I don't want to fight this team, which means that it's probably too stally for me. And
Understandable.
similarly, 9 out of 10 on pain. You have to prep for rain, which isn't always easy, and you have to prep for stall. All that said, I do think that it is good, but I do agree it's a little overhyped.
Yeah, and but I don't want to downstate or downplay the defense on this team like you're saying.
Oh
Like the
yeah,
defense is
super.
insane, but I think it's a running into a similar issue with Bucks' team that he drafted last season, where the offense just feels a little lacking and a little bit too much reliance on a couple months to do the dirty work.
Yeah,
And I don't know how that's going to work out if one of them drops. So puts pressure on the defense. But yeah,
yeah. Oh, and I keep forgetting. I did this whole thing and
no
I
worries.
forget to say it, but Scizor is the representation of this team because Sure, it can work well in rain by halving its weakness to fire, but realistically, it's just a bulky defensive mon, and that's what the
Yep.
team is. It's sure it has rain, but realistically, it's a defensive powerhouse team.
So also, like, real quick before we move on, because I
Yeah.
forgot to mention this, but like a lot of these mons can self-heal, right? Like
Oh
Coco,
God, yeah.
Pelipper, Gudra doesn't
One, two,
count.
three.
Miltank can't even. Deoxys Defense, Caesar, Talonflame, Ludicolo. I mean, Synthesis is kind of nerfed in rain, but it's fine.
I think exactly Garbodor and Swampert are the only two, and Gudra are the only three that don't.
And the thing is like, on a defensive team, that's fine. But a smart player will take advantage of those roost turns, of those recover turns, get a switch off, and exert offensive pressure, which will put even more pressure on the defense to cover up for the offensive slack
Mm-hmm.
that is already being compressed into a couple mons. So I think that's a potential downfall that Bucs has to watch out for. If your opponent switches smart on this team, I think you can easily break this apart,
Yep.
despite how scary it is.
Yeah.
Like a Wish Passer would be really nice, but like I'm slowly coming around on Wish Passers. But yeah, like I think a Wish Passer, especially to keep Mega Swamp and more pivoting on the defensive mons,
Mm-hmm.
which he does have actually. To be fair.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Boston. Oh boy. I want
What's the old boy for?
you to go first because I'm gonna tear into this team for a dumb reason.
Let's okay. So I think Mega Arrow is criminally underrated even now, even still, and I think it's stupid insane because it forces you to like bring a scarf on something.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you bring a scarf, oh, if Mega Aerodactyl clicks DD, you lose. Like,
Yep.
so stupid. I think Rabombi is an insane pick for tier, and that's the other thing, right? He has webs, but Rabombi doesn't have to bring webs on this team, which is really nice. One Quiver Dance, now you have to worry about that. I think Rabombi in tier 4 is dumb. It should not be insane value.
Yeah.
Like, why
Agreed.
is a Raquanid in tier 3 and Rabombi in tier 4? Like, I don't like. I get Water Bubbles busted, but it's not that busted compared to Quiver Dance. Quiver Dance is like almost equally as busted.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that they both are tier three personally. I think Araquanid is a great defensive mon more than anything in drafts, but I am agreed that Rabombi is a
I don't wanna hate
way
on the record
high
because I
value.
had it on my team that one season 8. I had it on my team. I brought it twice, and the 2 times I brought it, it popped off. But like, it's not a mon I'm gonna like rely on every week.
That's fair.
Rabombi is something that I can see myself bringing every week because it's fast, it can set up, it can pivot, it has the whole 9 yards. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously like the Lele Lucha combo is also insane here. Like there's a lot of ways this team can beat you.
Yeah.
Aerodactyl, Lele, Lucha, Nidoking, Rabombi, like Nidoking webs, and it has a Lula for Wish Pass pivoting. Drampa's a nice little dragon here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my two issues with this team, and T4U knows this because I was actually talking to him. We were like exchanging advice throughout the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think his team is overly reliant on Rotom Heat to be defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's less of an issue now than it was in the middle of the draft, but special fire attacks absolutely destroy this team.
Mm.
Alola Spadef is trash. I don't want to hear how it's not very effective. It's still gonna die to like Charwai and Sun, especially when it can fire off a solar beam. Like, and then Drampa helps with that somewhat, but like Ferrothorn feels like it's not gonna put as much work in on this team as it would on other teams,
Mm-hmm.
and that dings it a little bit for me. I also hate the last two picks, and T4U knows this. He wanted to try Frostlass,
Fair.
which is
But
fair, exactly.
yeah.
I'm not gonna like play with the mons you want to play, but I think I hate Skunk Tank on this team. It provides absolutely nothing on a team with Nidoking. It's defogging, that's it. But you don't want to
Yeah.
defog on the team because Rabombi's here. You don't want to defog your webs off. I thought
Yeah.
like
Webs are
yeah,
going to be good with
he needs
Nidoking
a spinner.
here.
Skunk Tank is not good on this team at all. It's literally here to be a dark type. That's it. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to like I'm gonna go in circles and keep saying Skunk Tank bad if I continue, but and he doesn't need what Frostlass provides. Like it spikes is nice, like I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like
The
he
best I
doesn't
can
need the
say
yeah.
is that it is nice to have a ghost type for anti-spinning in case
True.
it deals with a hazard team on the other side. But there's
Marathon can also kind of dissuade spinning with Rusk and Rocky Helmet to an extent.
yeah, but like as somebody who is going to start with mono ghost, I know for a fact that there's better ghost types you could have picked. And again, pick who you want. I know that better than anybody, but just in regards to team balance, there's probably a better ghost for
I
anti-spinning
forgot
and balancing the rest of your team.
I forgot what I recommended him, but I definitely recommended more Pico as his tier 4. Oh yeah, no, I
Hmm.
recommended him more Pico and Dusclops Noir because they're both tier 5 here.
Oh yeah, that would have been great.
And then more Pico provides him pivoting,
Yeah,
spinning, and Aura Wheel's a dumb move all in one. So like, I don't know.
yeah, I
Um,
think that would have been a great pick.
the Frost Blast thing, like unironically, I think its best use here is to Destiny Bond and kill off the enemy fire type. Like literally,
Yeah,
that's its best use on this team.
yeah, like Suicide Lead, Spikes, Destiny Bond is probably its best option.
Mhm. But yeah, I want to hear you rip into this team because I'm curious now.
Okay, I'm gonna lead with the good, which is that it got 9 across the board. I think that it has good versatility. I am scared of a lot of portions of this team, and I think that it is, other than the fire special fire weakness. I think that it is generally pretty well balanced in regards to weaknesses.
Mhm.
I am going to go on a complete tangent,
Let's
but
hear it.
I had to check when this Pokemon was drafted because if it was mid draft, I would have been upset. But I actually have realized I'm more upset because this was your first pick. But Tapu Lele is
Oh, when
so
Indeedy's available. Yeah.
no, not even
Oh.
that. Because if you had picked Indeedee first, that would have been great because it would have been great value pick, and you could have gotten a better tier one. Actually, in fact, I guess that would be perfect. If you had done that, you would have had a better tier one to patch this issue, which is this team is the biggest waste of Psychic Surge I have ever seen
Hey,
because your two fastest three of your like most likely to be fast attackers because the only other one is like Rabombi all are off the ground and as such will still be hit by priority.
holy shit,
Mega
what?
Aerodactyl, Halucha, and Rotom Heat are also going to get hit by Aerialate, Mega Pinsir, which I don't know if you fight, but it's in the draft in general. Ice Shard takes
From
Aerodactyl
the
and
conference, I
Halucha.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know nobody, it was specifically brought up that nobody got a Lycanroc, but if somebody decides to draft it, Lycanroc hits Aerodactyl and Rotom Heat
True.
both. Lele here is such a waste of potential, and if you can find a better Psychic or Fairy in tier 1, I don't want to say you should because Lele is just great in general, but it makes me so upset that this team has Psychic Surge because I forget if it's the next one or like there's a team later on that I was thinking like if this team had Psychic Surge, it would be one of the best teams in the draft.
You know, I'm glad you caught that, to be honest, because I super didn't. And I retract my statement. I don't think he actually faces Craft, so he doesn't have to deal with Mega Pinsir quick attacking this team to death, but still.
Uh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
if
that's a good catch. Holy shit.
somebody has a good Ice Shardmon, I don't know where Weavile is or
Where's Mamo
Mamoswine,
at?
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's like such a small take, and if you don't even fight it, it's not like a big deal. But my God, I as somebody who like has built like I Psychic Surge is such an utter underutilized thing to build around,
Yeah.
and this is just Lele is like you could put any other good Psychic Fairy in here, and it would be better value than Lele is. Is like I realize I think the only other good Psychic Fairy offhand, yeah,
Gardevoir?
it's like Gardevoir or Mega Gardevoir,
Good
but
is debatable, I guess. Like,
yeah, and again, that's like a small gripe, but like if you had a fast attacker that wasn't on the ground, like anyone, I would be so much more gung ho on this team. But like
mhm.
even Halucha, which has great synergy, It boosts special defense, and you are not going to find a single special attacking priority move to counter that Halucha, so that special defensive boost does nothing against priority.
Excuse you, vacuum wave. Duh. I'm just kidding.
Water shurikens is the only
Yo,
move
water
I'd accept being said.
Yeah. I don't think Greninja
Um,
got drafted. Big pain.
yeah, Halucha is the indicator for this team. I've completely forgotten why at this point.
Probably because of the psychic terrain and
Yeah, I
how it's
think
gonna
it's. I think it was that it
completely
has good setup and it's a good mon, but it is definitely like. Yeah, it's just a good mon and it has good setup and is fast. I don't remember.
yeah.
It's
Like
Halucha. I'm sticking to that. I just don't remember my reasoning.
it's so weird about Lucha because I used it and like I didn't really bring it to like I don't even think I brought it to half my games.
Hmm.
And then the times I've played against Lucha, I just throw in like Deoxys D or something, and I don't even get 2-8 KO'd. Like it needs the Swords Dance to do something.
Yeah, Halucha
Which
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can run Life Orb Palucha and two shot everything anyways. T4U, am I right?
uh, ready?
Maybe that's a little thing you could run. Who needs Lele when you could just close combat
Right.
everything and kill it?
Yeah. Ready for the next?
Yeah, let's hit it. Dzbanned one.
Dzbanned one. Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna lead with the Pokemon
Sure.
representation because this is the one that I feel the strongest about.
Sylveon.
No,
Damn.
Kartana.
Oh, understandable.
And here's why. Kartana is a fast, hard hitting Pokemon. High
Yeah,
special attack, or high physical attack, high speed, high
vacuum
physical
Kartana.
defense, even. Horrible special defense. A good special attacker destroys the majority of this team, other than like Sylveon and
Sylveon.
Dusknoir. Like, Kartana can't take a special hit. Regirock kind of can. Like, this is an example for a few teams, including some that I didn't bring it up, but like so many teams, this one especially, don't want to fight Qrem. Qrem would eat this team up, in my opinion. Like Scarf
Eh.
or Dragon Dance Qrem.
A DD Kyurem I can see. I think Sylveon and like AV Hitmontop are like enough to dissuade it personally.
That's fair enough.
But like DD, especially because Sylveon can like Wish Pass if Dzbanned plays his cards right, it
Yeah.
can like keep things healthy that need to,
Hmm.
and like play his type matchups because like even though Regirock isn't like it's more physically defensive than special defense, it's still got 100 base special defense and it can resist common
True.
special attacking types. Um, that last part's actually a lie. It's only like fire, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think it's as big as a weakness as I'm making it out to be fair, but I do think that Kartana is actually like the best job I can do for like a Pokemon that represents the team. Like, special weakness is probably, in my opinion, the biggest weakness here.
That's honestly fair. So I would I would then guess based on how you're describing it, you're not very high on this team then, are you?
Um, so I'm kind of mid on it because I have it as a 10 for pain because, like I said, Kartana's here and Garchomp is here,
Everyone's here.
and Azelf, and like the offensive pressure on this team is horrifying. Gyarados, Garchomp, Azelf, Kartana with web support is really scary.
Yep.
Um, but I do think that it doesn't. I think that Wish Pashing and Hitmontop and Regirock are nice defensive options, and defensive Garchomp is nice versatility. The team has great versatility, 9 out of 10, but 7 out of 10 on weakness. I think that this team is going to find itself being broken a lot easier than it looks, but if it gets good setup, it can. But it's like also so offensively strong that that almost doesn't even matter.
Yeah. So I agree with you on the versatility point. I think this team is very flexible. The only downside to its flexibility is that a lot of its bulk is lower tier bulk, which scares me a little bit for its
Yeah.
flexibility potential. But webs in combination with Mecha Gyarados,
Yep.
Garchomp, Specs are banned in Azelf, and like Kartana is like insane.
Yeah.
And then he has a nice little 1-2 Sun Core of Torkoal and Heliolisk, and the Torkoal is still valuable outside of that because you have the Fizz-Def Torkoal and the Spadef Sylveon. They pair extremely well with one another. I think that's a very underrated pairing. because
Yeah,
Sylveon Torkoal Live can come in with boots and spin off hazards, throw off some lava plumes for some nice burns. I think the defense here is actually a little underrated. And the webs is
fair.
very nice, but um, and he has a couple win cons beyond obviously webs Chomp or webs Mega Gyarados. Like Azov can be something that comes in the back and finishes off teams. Kartana can do the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I think this team is actually like kind of good.
yeah.
I think like obviously Kartana and Helix being the exact same speed hurts it a bit, especially
Mm-hmm.
because one's physical and one's special. You just need one thing to outspeed them both. Like
Yep.
literally, like one strong special fire move, especially if it's like dry skin or solar power Helio. Like you just with sun up, you
Yep.
just fire off fire moves as long as you're not choiced and don't give Mega Gyarados a free turn to like come in and DD. You're fine.
Yeah.
Or Garchomp a free turn to SD or Scale Shot or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think this team, if played right, can actually do a lot of good things.
For sure. I think that this team is going to come down primarily to execution more than anything.
Hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
That
Coach skill
is
trumps any sort of team, in my opinion. So
entirely true.
if
Entirely agreed.
so, if we like rank you low, or if we're like not as high as your team on others, don't take that as you can't win or you're not going to do well. Like literally, you have the power in your hands. It is time for you to seize your future, like every JRPG protagonist ever.
Yes.
On to the
Uh,
next one.
yeah.
All right, Terra Chomps. It's a name.
It's sure name, and I like this team. I know a bunch of people
Okay.
probably won't, but I love this team.
Let's hear why.
Well, obviously I'm super biased. It has Chinchino and Poltergeist, and those are two of
Okay,
my
you're right.
favorite
You're right. How
mons.
could I not see you like this team? You're right.
But I understand why. I think a bunch of people say that it's like kind of similar to the other one. I think Oremity earlier. It's like a bunch of good mons that are just kind of slapped together. Oh, hey, here's the Mamoswine to Ice
Here's the
Shard.
it's in division, yeah.
Yeah, it's in
It's
division.
week 2 matchup, yeah, this week or this coming week.
Yeah. But the thing that I think my opinion on this team is that I think the fact that Poltegeist and Volcarona are here is a terrifying thing, and this team actually has a very good ability to allow them to set up and sweep through teams. This is the team that really wanted Lele. If this team had a way to avoid priority with Poltegeist and Volcarona both being here, this
True.
team would be able to, if used effectively, dismantle threats and then set up to sweep.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't really like the fact that both Pulte and Volcarona are on the special side, and he doesn't have like a real like workup since like
Yeah, Mamoswine is his main offensive pressure. Also, actually, that
Mammoth's really good. Don't
oh,
get me wrong.
Mamoswine is amazing, but it's also base 80 speed.
Yeah, it's gonna rely on Ice Shard a fair bit. I think to knock off some faster threats. Uh,
I have a
but I
question for you.
yeah,
Oh no,
fire.
continue.
No. You're good. You're good.
Do you know why Primape's here?
That was gonna be one of my points. I think Primeape should. It's funny because it doesn't have the worst stats for a tier 5, but I don't think it should ever be drafted. And I saw it drafted in like another league, and I'm like, why is this drafted? Like I've seen this draft. I thought I've seen it all. Primeape being drafted twice is worse in my opinion than both Raticates being drafted. Changed my mind.
Oh my god, that's hilarious! I specifically was thinking the exact
Oh
same
my
thing when
god.
I
See, look at
was.
that. Great minds think alike. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and like I kind
Holy
of get
crap.
it. It's 95. It's a good, fairly solid physical attacker. It can probably be scarfed, but like I
Defiant is
don't
there.
know.
I
There's
don't know.
gotta be something better in the tier fives.
Yes, there almost assuredly is, and Machamp is right there for
Oh, it's
starters.
Machamp tier. Oh my god, it's
Throw is right there. Grapple Locked is right there. Like yeah,
yeah,
like Combuskin even. I mean, I think Combuskin's a meme, but like Primate is probably better than Combuskin actually. But
yeah.
like yeah, there's a lot of
It
options.
depends on what you want. As long as we're talking about the setup sweepers, I would have to do some calcs, but maybe Combuskin could add to the
With an
setup sweep
SDE,
potential.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
like,
yeah.
just to further, I'm sorry, just one more thing on the setup
Yeah,
sweeper
yeah,
front.
yeah.
But like, Gothitelle here, if you, as long as you don't have uh, Psy, uh psychic terrain to deal with anti priority, Gothitelle here as a Shadow Tag mon is a great option for just like eliminating certain specific threats like shadow tagging, trapping things, and that would prevent sweeping. I don't know how many things that Gothitelle can specifically get rid of that would do that, but like,
Yeah. The one that like comes to mind is like it can't even trap Clef because it just teleports out. Pain.
yeah, that's true.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I actually like now that I'm looking at it, Gothitel's really nice to trap things that Volk and Poltergeist wouldn't want to deal with, but like so many things get pivoting that's less and less like useful
That's
now.
true.
Um, and especially because Gothitelle doesn't really exert that much physical presence, you're banking on like hypnosis landing or like cosmic powering before you die.
True.
And for tier one, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like I think Gothitelle is like kind of overrated. Like Shadow Tag, don't get me wrong, Shadow Tag's amazing. I'd rather have Doug Trio, I think, even though
Yeah,
Doug
Doug
Trio
Trio might
really
be
can't eat
better
a
on
hit,
this team. Does
and
he
it's
have
a
a?
tier two. I mean, well, not on this team because Mammo's here, but like I
Yeah,
think like in a vacuum, I'd rather have Doug Trio, even though it can't literally switch in at all. But it doesn't need to when
I
it comes in and banned Hurricanes everything or
I
Hurricane
would
everything.
genuinely consider Doug Trio over Gothitelle on this team, even with Mamo, just because with all that we've said about Primeape, 60 extra points would turn
Oh,
Primeape into a tier 3,
true.
so you could
Well,
potentially get like a decent tier 3 instead of Primeape.
the bad
Either.
news is that this coach only has one more trade.
Oh,
Speaking of which,
yeah.
Keldeo for Volcarona. Okay, I can get behind that. I think
Yeah.
even though Keldeo got flip turn, I think Volcarona's especially giving you a fire type here.
Hmm.
And like I can't complain about Scented Scorch since that's a good value play. You're dropping down a tier for what in my opinion is like a better mon anyway.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I'm agreed on both of those trades being good.
But yeah, like before I forget like thing the one thing that stands out to me at on this okay, a couple things that there's a very big ground and fire weakness spread across this team,
Hmm.
which means that Mandibuzz, this team is, as we saw week one, by the way, spoiler alert, this team relies on Mandibuzz being alive to win.
Hmm.
Um, and like obviously, we're not taking results yet into these power rankings solely on the team, but like what I'm saying is it's already been proven that
Yeah.
this team relies on Mandibuzz as its backbone, and if Mandibuzz drops, this team is in big fat doo doo trouble.
Hmm.
Um, That being said, I think Mega Aggron's like the weird pick here. I love the bulky steel. What I don't like is that you don't have a wish passer or to keep it healthy. I think especially using like Mega Steelix in the same vein with a wish passer with Umbreon to keep it alive, even though they're both weak to fighting, it still was an amazing pairing because Mega Steelix come in and out, throw gyro balls off the charts, for big damage and multiple times. The thing is, Mega Aggron's not going to be able to exert as much offensive pressure as it would like, because it's going to get worn down easily without any support.
Yeah.
I don't know if Shaman gets like Healing Wish or whatever, but like that might be a neat tech. But like, yeah,
Yeah. Just to finish off, because I do want to give all my rankings. Eight
yes,
for
please.
versatility, because I do think that there's actually, you know what? I don't know why I gave it an 8 for versatility. The most of these mons are pretty.
Encino factor.
Yes, the Gigino factor. Yeah, I'm revoking that to a 7 on versatility and weakness, because like you said, it's pretty easy to chip this team down. There's only like two consistent recovery mons. I guess three with Volcarona. But I still give it like a solid 9.5 for pain. I think
Yeah,
that the setup potential is scary, and
yeah. I
if
think this
this
team
team could make, if this team could trade with, can do a free trade in conjunction with a
coach trade.
um, coach trade, the potential with Gothitelle dropping for something, not even necessarily Doug Trio, but like Gothitelle down and Primeape up, just to balance things out more. This team could be really good.
Yeah, and even in its current state, I think this team is good enough to win. I think it needs to work a little bit harder than some other teams, though, to do that at
Yep,
this point in
agreed.
time.
And Poltergeist is the representative because Poltergeist can sweep through things, but you do need to make sure that it doesn't die to a sucker punch.
Job.
Uh, Next one.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what Kronos has got for us. I'm curious to hear your thoughts first, because if I'm gonna guess, I think you and me are gonna differ very greatly on our assessment of this team. Actually,
I think so because I think this team is.
oh, are we gonna have
I
the
think
same
that
opinion after
no,
all?
I think this team is really good. I should clarify
Oh,
immediately. I think this team is very good. I think that it is. I think that like it's it's weird because like I think this team is good and everything on it is good, but I also struggle to like expressly figure out why. Like everything on it is good, but I don't know if I have a solid like sense of coherency per se. Like, but like Megalopunny and Weavile just immediately are horrifying to fight against.
yeah,
Gliscor and Araquanid and Drudagon are some fantastic defensive options. Registeel and Granbull, like Fairy Steel Dragon Core is terrifyingly defensive, although
and I think
potentially a
Granbull's
little,
underrated as well.
yeah, potentially a little special week. I think Registeel is going to be running special defense most weeks, which I don't know how much that matters, but it is just,
Arachnid's there, sort of.
yeah, Araquanid's here, kind of. Rillaboom is good for offense and technically like helping everything with um on the defensive side too with Grassy Surge. I just gave it nines across the board in stats. I think that it's just got a bunch of scary mons, a lot of good options, a lot of, and it's, I don't want to say it's like hard to break because again, there's not a, I don't think there's a lot of consistent recovery outside of, it's like just Gliscor and Crobat, I think. Yeah. So
And
you can
Crobat doesn't really
definitely,
want to run defensive on this team, anyways, in my opinion, and I'll get to that
oh,
in a bit.
interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that the team is very easy to chip down. This team doesn't want to fight a stall team. This team doesn't want to fight like Bucs, for instance. I don't think
Yeah,
if he runs a defensive build anyway.
and we even saw like this team struggle to break just the team that needed Mandibus to stay alive. We saw that this team struggled to break it, and I think
Mm,
that's even further to your point. I mean, obviously it came with full axle miss, but that's my thing. That's my main thing against Weavile and physical ice types in general. If you have to rely on a stab that is inaccurate in a game where consistency over the course of a season makes your performance better, like at least me as a player, when I look at a team, I value consistency because week in and
fair.
week out, you need to make sure your mons do the job they need to. And if doing the job you need to means relying on focus blast, that's a definite knock on a Pokemon. If that means relying on triple axle, that's a knock on a Pokemon in my opinion. So Weavile gets knocked
That's
in my eyes for that.
that's why you
Um,
always run wide lens Weavile.
yeah, I mean I think triple axle becomes like 97% accurate if you do.
Yeah, it's 99 accuracy per hit, so you have a 1% miss each
Can't wait to
time.
miss.
Can't wait to miss the 1% chance. Entirely possible though,
Yup.
since I sure
But yeah,
miss Air Slash.
air slash. Yeah, no, God, too much Star Ocean recently. Anyways, like my two issues with Kronos' team here are show me his special attacker that I have to care about.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yep.
Nasty Plot Crobat. Like I mean I 6-0'd a coach last season with Nasty Plot Crobat. But like if that's your best special attacker and it requires setup to be useful and it has to hit Hurricane to be useful, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Magmortar's too slow. Seismitoad isn't gonna like invest in special attack. I mean, if you want to show me Zapcan and Registeel, by all means. But like, like the fact that there's no special attack on this team, like for example, like the Mega Aggron and that's in this division has a
Mm-hmm.
field day with
True.
like 90% of this team, and the stuff it struggles against, like Magmortar, You just bring, I don't know what was on that team.
Honestly, you probably can just Earthquake Magmodar and take a hit, and if you had a Wish Passer, you could just Wish
Yeah,
Pass it off.
Mammo
But
just comes in and presses buttons.
yeah,
Like that's the thing, right? Like the lack of special attacker makes this team easy to prep for defensively. Like
hmm
Deoxys defense, straight defense on this team, and like literally the only thing that has to ever worry about is toxic and knock off from reval. That's it, and then you win.
yep. Uh,
The other issue with this team is that there's the speed gap between Weavile and like Glysaur Rillaboom is so big that any like for example, my Latios, if I ever played, I don't know if I played Kronos this season. I just run full bulk Latios. Like I can run modest full bulk without any issues.
true.
Like that's ridiculous. Like and the speed gap is so big that like any mon from like 120 speed to like 90 speed can run full bulk because it's not even guaranteed that Rillaboom is gonna run max speed, right?
Yeah,
Like 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 it's just gonna make Lopunny, especially now that it doesn't have return. If something resists close combat, it's gonna be that much harder for it to kill because everything's
yeah,
gonna be fully bulked up. Um, and then especially when they're all physical, right? Those two work in tandem to make this team really easy to wall. And I
yeah,
think that's gonna be a big struggle of Kronos this season, which we already saw, but I think it's gonna continue. So that actually knocks it a big deal for me because not only does it make it nerfs the entire team by literally like having the same counter for everything.
yeah. That makes sense. I didn't even notice that offhand, or if I did, I forgot it in the moment of now.
4 eyes are better than 2 for a reason.
Indeed.
But yeah,
Um, last thing from me. I don't know if you have more, but feel free. But
oh, that was pretty much it.
yeah, Rillaboom is the representative because it is very much generally a physical mon, but it does technically have defensive options. Kind of. You can run Leech Seed, right?
Subseed is a set that I would consider running on occasion. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But moreover, this team is a physical oriented team. It hits. This is this is a hit buttons team with physical options, and if you cannot hit physical options, you are in a weird spot.
Yep.
Oh, maybe I
Agreed.
did remember that because that is I think why part of why I chose Rillaboom.
Nice.
All right, all
Also, this
right.
is a team. Oh, sorry. No, I
No,
was gonna
go
say
on.
this is a team that Psychic Terrain does shuts down as well.
True.
But yeah,
All right,
let's move on to your team.
my
So we're finally in the
team.
next conference. So should I start off on this?
Please do.
So I'm not even pandering to you. I think this team is better than people give it credit for.
Thank you.
Um, like obviously I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it feels good to look at because it doesn't. like like I don't even know what I'm looking at. But like that's my kind of team, honestly. But like I think individually there's some really good threats here. Okay. Corsola, Galar, Eradicated Lola, and like Brion notwithstanding. You know how I feel about Brion. I think that when people learn to adapt to it, it's gonna fall off hard. But please write it out while you can because it's hilarious to see every week, and I'm all here for it. Um,
Absolutely.
Mega Dancy and Victini are a very strong 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Magnezone and Dragalge are also a very strong, slower, bulkier 1-2 pairing, albeit weak to ground. That's one of the biggest things. Your team is omega weak to ground. Like holy moly.
Yeah, I got three
Um,
options against it, and then everything else is weak.
yep, you're relying a lot on Superior, I think, and to
Mm-hmm.
switch in and Gligar to switch in. Um, and the other big knock on your team is that your big threats are all clustered in the same speed tier, which like normally wouldn't be an issue, but like it's your entire like offensive presence that's literally 10 speed within each other, which is like eh.
That's
I mean
fair.
like specifically DNC, Victini, Staraptor, Superior, Cobalion. Like all those are like 10, 13 speed technically within each other.
Yeah.
And like I don't know how I feel about that. I love the mons individually. You do have Magnezone and Dragalge, but like I said, like a strong ground type really puts pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that being said, I think 9-year mons can pivot, and that's stupid, like in a good way.
Yeah,
Like
the
like
only ones
that.
that
Yeah,
can't are
Ursula.
Superior and Corsola
Yeah,
and Mega Diancie.
right. Okay, so 8 then. Close
Yeah.
enough. But like, yeah, I think that that much pivoting opens you up so much. Like a lot of your flaws can get masked if you play it right,
Mm-hmm.
because and I said this to you before we started, but you can genuinely get away with like a 5 choice team, and it can literally be good because if you think they're gonna switch, you click U turn or volt switch. If you don't, you nuke something, whatever's in front of you. And like
Yep.
the thing is you have a very good mix of physical and special damage as well, so it's hard to prep for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And your defensive backbone isn't like terrible. Like I think Ligar is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
And you have thick fat Radicate to cover for that, which I think is hilarious. Um, Magnezone is the real like thing that switches in the ice types here, I think, but like
Mm-hmm.
especially because Gligar covers for the ground.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think like obviously I'm not going to sit here and say this is like a top 8 team, but
Because it's not.
I don't think it's the worst team in the league. I think there is enough here to work with.
Yeah. Um. Offhand, just I don't have too much to add. I'm kind of agreed. I think that it is very much in the bottom realms of the league, but I think that it is. I think that I have a lot to work with. I am agreed that the speed is a bit of an issue, if nothing else, because Superior being my highest speed isn't great because I think Superior kind of actually wants to run bulk support sets more than usual with the ground weaknesses, as you
Yeah, I
said.
can see that. I mean,
Um,
yeah,
so the speed matters less when I'm running HP. I can run HP and speed, but that's not the best situation for Superior. It's not
not the
awful
worst.
because I Leaf Storm will snowball. Trust me, I know.
I mean, it already did.
Yeah. Um.
I I also really like the glare option for your team. That's
Yeah.
another thing.
Exactly.
Like
That was
speed
the
matters a little bit less.
big reason I
Yeah,
chose Superior.
glare is a
Um.
dumb move.
I've kind of been hiding one of the things that I've been most excited about with this team.
You don't have
Um.
to say it then. It's fine.
No, because it doesn't really matter. But one thing I absolutely love about this team is the fact that I have 3 Eviolite Pokemon.
Wait,
And
you
I
do?
have,
Holy shit, you do.
yeah, I have the baby squad. I also have
Baby.
3 really good knockoff switch-ins in Mega Diancie, which won't take full damage and resists, Cobalion, which will
Ooh.
get an attack boost,
I can't
and
believe this is what
Raticate
all
Alola.
in Eradicate is for.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
believe it.
that's what it's for.
I
I'm
hate this
not
so
even
much.
kidding. My team is incredibly knockoff weak, and I specifically drafted 3 Mons to like
There's
lessen
no way
that
Eradicate was
weakness.
the best knockoff switch in
Oh,
tier
it
5.
absolutely wasn't. Radicate. I have another reason for
Well, I mean, you also
drafting it.
drafted it like second round too, right? Like,
Yeah, trust me.
uh,
I have a very specific thing set that I want to run with that Radicate. We'll see it. I will make sure we see it.
I'm pretty sure I face you. I'm hoping we both bring Eradicate when that happens.
Oh, I hope so too.
I really wanted Eradicate Alola. You stole it from my heart. I
I'm
hate you.
so sorry.
It's
This
fine.
is why you draft your tier fives in round
You're
3.
so right. That's what I mean. Like next time I get autonomy over my draft, that's what I'm gonna do. Because
Oh
next
yeah.
season I'm gonna RNG my entire draft. That should be fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I gave this team. I just to rate my own team. I give it a 6 for pain. I don't think anybody's gonna be super scared of this team other than Victini and Mega Diancie. And that is, I do think those are 2 really scary mons, but I don't think anybody really cares that much. Um, I honestly give it an 8 for versatility. I think I have a lot of options. My biggest issue is kind of that there's not too many sets per mon, but I think the mons are versatile enough to swap out things. And I give it like a 6 for weakness too.
Understandable. I will say though, I think your team is a bit more fearful, at least in my eyes, than you're giving yourself credit. I
That's
think
fair.
whenever I see a Dragalge, I get terrified because that thing adaptability is dumb, and that's all
Oh
I have to
yeah.
say about that. And Staraptor I think is always perennially underrated. Once again, another championship of mine. I'm clearly biased, but I think like it had there's no switch-ins. Like it's literally Zapdos Galar, but like a little worse. There's like no switch-ins to this thing. It like
Yeah.
2 KOs everything. Like that's
And
terrifying.
it's funny you should say that because I absolutely was trying debating. I think it was my last pick specifically because I was debating between. I don't remember if it was my last pick or not, but the entire draft I was debating on between Staraptor and Zapdos Galar, and I was kind of hoping that somebody would draft
Yeah,
one of
nobody
them.
drafted Zapdos Galar, which is insane to me.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'll trade for it at some point if Staraptor doesn't do what I drafted it for. And I did have a reason for picking it over it,
Final
but that
Gambit, haha. Hee hee.
maybe. um,
That's another thing. You have like 3 Final Gambits here, don't you?
yeah, yeah, I have three final gambits. I love it.
Beautiful.
And
Same.
Victini is the representative. It's final gambit, the Mon, and also it's kind of a scary specialized offense, but it's kind of that.
Taking my head 0 out of 10. No Dunsparce or Emolga. Bad team.
That's fair. Ready for Gator?
Yeah, let's see it. All right, so I think I saw people saying this team was bad. I disagree heavily, actually.
I have weird opinions on this team. I think it's good, but I think it's good for weird reasons, for sure.
Do you want to like explain that first, or should I go first?
Um, I'll go first, just
All right,
because
hit me with
I'm
yeah.
curious.
Hmm.
I think that when I look at this team, the first thing I think is that it is a really good offensive pressure team, right? It has Mega Mawile, it has Hydreigon, it has Nasty Plot Salazzle, Rotom Wash to a degree, and Slurpuff has Belly Drum set. I think this team should realistically be running a full defensive set every week.
You mean like you mean this team should be bringing like P2, Palossand, Reuniclus, Skarm every week kind of deal, and then
Not
Mawile like to clean up?
Yeah, Mega Mawile to clean up, Porygon, Rotom Wash for pivoting, Reniclus for potential defensive wall setup sweeping, Hydreigon even for like Roost U-turn Defog, which is a popular set, and
I
the
think defensive Hydreigon's
representative,
underrated.
yeah,
Yeah.
the representative of this team is Hydreigon because on paper it looks like it's a super offensive mon, but defensive Hydreigon is great, and I think this maybe I'm wrong about how offensive this team looks, but I think this team really is a defensive team overall. And Mega Mawile helps with that a lot, is the important thing here. Like, the fact that it's a defensive team doesn't mean it's bad. I just think that it's kind of weird that I would be scared. I'm scared of the offensive threats, but I think that this team shines defensively more than anything.
I'm in actually complete agreement with you, and I think something that makes this team scary is that all of its defensive threats, including Skarm with the addition of Body Press, can actually do damage. So you can't just expect to sit in front of a defensive threat and like expect to be safe.
Yeah,
And that's really
taunting
scary.
taunting most of these defensive mons aren't gonna be shutting
Yeah,
them down completely.
exactly. Like I think this team is it's slow, but it's scary. I think the biggest weakness of this team is that it's slow.
Yeah,
Um, like a fast, strong Scarfer, or not even like a fast like banded or scarfed, sorry, banded or Spexmon can rip through this team,
yep,
provided certain things are down, because it's just so slow. And like obviously there are ways to deal with that. Like we have Sucker Punch, we have webs. Like that's the thing, right? Like Slurpuff is the ultimate wild card for this team. If you prep for webs and it clicks belly drum, you lose. If you prep for belly drum and it clicks webs, now all of a sudden Mawile literally doesn't have to like use sucker punch and can just do tons of damage for no reason.
yep,
Um, like and then like P2 and Rotom insanely good teleport and volt switch to be able to get in Mawile for free, safe, which will make it excel even more, especially if webs are up. And he has Hitmonchan for spinning, so he doesn't have to defog his own webs away. I think that's huge, and I'm glad if he thought of it that way. I'm glad that that's the choice he made because a lot of other teams that drafted webs did not draft a spinner. I think that's
mm-hmm.
a mistake. So Gators gets points in my book for having a spinner here. And like I said, like the defensive mons here can still do damage. Like Reuni can calm mind sweep in race circumstances. Skarmory can iron defense body press. Palisade Palisade can do respectable damage with Earth Power or Shadow Ball Stab. Um, and it can also run block or infestation trapping sets. So like, there's a lot of like scary things on this team.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think this is a good team.
Yeah,
Even though I
I'm
don't really like a lot of the mons individually, actually, I think this is a
mhm.
good team.
Agreed. I gave it a 9 for versatility because, like I said, I do think it can still run offensive options pretty easily. Like, you can run Scarf Rotom, you can run, as seen, Nasty Plot, Salazzle. Um, Hydreigon can still be offensive, Mawile can still be offensive, and everything that is defensive, as we said, can be offensive, and Surpluff, but it still can run defensive sets on pretty much everything other than Mawile. Um,
I mean,
weak.
Iron Defense Mobile, maybe.
Oh my god. Uh, Weakness, I gave it a 9 because again, it's a defensive team at heart, I think. I do think it has a. There is something that yeah, like you
It's a
said,
little knockoff
Scarf.
weak, but Mobile like super de- detracts away from that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a little knockoff weak, and a good, strong Scarf offensive mon, like you said, could sweep through it. And I gave it an 8 for pain because Mega Mawile Hydreigon, and Salazzle. No. It was Mega Mawile, Salazzle, and Ranunculus. I always say it wrong. Those
Uniclus,
three
same
mons
difference.
scare me in team prep a lot.
I would throw P2 in that mix, but agreed. I
P2
think
is
P2 is
a
underrated.
P2 is
Screw
super
that one.
underrated, but it doesn't terrify me in the same way that those three do.
Oh,
Like,
I see what you mean.
I am not going to see a setup Porygon 2.
You don't know that.
True, I don't, but I'm probably not. But
Probably
like,
not. You're right.
if I don't prep for a setup Ranunculus in the right way when it is set up and it sets up, I probably won't be breaking it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, yeah. Once it gets going, it's a little scary to stop.
Yeah.
Because like Magic Guard just invalidates trying to wear it down with Toxic. So hope you have a strong Dark type that's
Or
physical.
or gastro acid like I almost brought on Superior specifically for it.
Yeah, no, like yeah, like and like the thing is like I love that like call, like Gastro
Hmm.
acid, but it's such limited distribution that and like Worry Seed.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that new? Didn't they like release an Isle of Armor move that like did the same thing? Or was that items? It was like the
That
poison
was
type move.
items.
They
The poison
okay,
one
rip
gets rid of items. It's knockoff,
the
but it does
Gastro's
no
thing.
damage. Yeah.
Damn, unfortunate.
Ready for the next?
Yeah, let's look at
Pup.
pop in the Green Bay into Green Bay, true combo. Um, I actually kind of like this team. Like I like it, but in a weird way.
Hmm.
I learned my lesson. So I think it was like a couple seasons ago
Hmm.
when like I did like a PR. I think this was the season before we did it last season together.
Hmm.
I did a PR. I remember talking to you about it. It was like Uno's team, and it was like literally oops all defense.
Yeah.
And I said this team is gonna be the worst in the league because it literally can't. It doesn't exert any offensive pressure. Even though I beat him at his own stall game with stall Ninetales, like he proved to me that like if you play a defensive team well in draft, it's not as bad as it might seem. And that's kind of how I feel about this team. I think there is a very clear lack of offense outside of Mega Metacham and Kiram. Like that's his entire offense. Inteleon is dead to me. I think it's
That's
better than other
fair.
people, but like I think Inteleon's better than other people just because its stats are good, but it has like no coverage. Like its coverage
Yeah.
is like Air Slash and Dark Pulse. That's it. And Ice Beam, I guess. But like,
I think I am agreed. My it's weird that so I'm agreed but in a weird way. My stats for this one were a 7 on versatility because like you said, I think that it is super reliant on Metacham and Kyurem for its offensive pressure. Um I gave it a 10 on weakness and a 10 on pain because
yeah, I
it's
can get behind that.
cuz like I'm building against this now and I'm I'm very glad I have the team I do because I don't feel
Placenta's.
confident, but like I think I have one of the I have a few of the best options for cutting through the defenses of this team, and I don't think many teams are going to have that.
Oh
But
yeah, wait, Mega
even
Diancie like
yeah,
this team. Hold
Mega
on.
Diancie gets through a lot of this team, other than Bullet Punch
Lord.
Metacham, which I sure hope this is go. I mean, I know Bullet Punch Metacham is coming. It's not like it's not coming.
Yeah.
But
Like
like,
Gligar is. I mean, you have Victini and Magnezone. Victini,
yeah,
even if you're worried about like
I
close combat
definitely
moves or
have
whatever.
options, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it too much. But in case this does go out
Psychic
before the
Terrain
battle,
Victini. Self-said
God,
that.
I wish it got Psychic Terrain. I
Wait, it doesn't?
genuinely
Same.
would run Psychic Terrain for this fight if
I
it
would
got
too.
Psychic Terrain.
Unironically, I would too. Because you
Um,
also deny Slowbro's Shell Smash, Quick Draw, Thingamajig if you really cared about
no,
that.
because that's not priority. It's the same thing as like I
Is
forget what.
Quick Claw not counted as priority either?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
that's
it's
so
the same thing
stupid.
where it like it doesn't boost its priority. It just puts it to the top of its own priority bracket, which is a weird
Oh, you're right.
distinction.
You're right. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
like
Oops.
Blissey and Corviknight is a terrifying defensive combo with Mudsdale in the back to help things out, and
110%.
Incineroar to Eldegoss is going to be a super underrated regenerator like pivot for some of these things, like as a
Oh, I'm saying
backup to
Slowbro, yeah.
Mudsdale and Slowbro. Oh
I'm in
god, that's right.
agreement.
You have two regenerator
Yep.
mods. God, this team
And Corv
sucks.
Blissey. Yeah, the team is insanely defensive. Like, and the thing is, this team has everything it needs to survive. It
Yeah,
has Wish Passing with Blissey. It has Heal Bell. It has Aromatherapy. It has dual screens. Like, this team is stupid.
yeah.
Like, it has all the defensive tools you'd ever want. Um,
I
but
think genuinely the only issue with this team is that your only two fast Pokemon are Raichu and Inteleon, which isn't the best.
yeah,
And that the only Pokemon that are going to be differing in sets realistically, like in a consistent way that matters, are Corviknight with pure bulk pivot or bulk up,
yeah, or
and
I defense. Yeah,
yeah, and Qrem, which might run like sub roost versus Specs or Scarf, and those three sets are there's not a lot of difference between them, but it's Qrem, so those are that's a terrifying roulette to have to figure out which set it is.
right. And it can even run like like it doesn't want to, but it can run like Roost 3 attacks if it really so chose, or like a more defensive. Like even Kyurem can run dual screens
Yeah,
if it really
exactly.
wanted.
Like I think
Like
this team I think you'll always be able to tell the majority of what is coming and what sets are coming, but I think the scary thing is that that doesn't make it too much less scary, even if you correctly predict what's coming.
yeah, I agree. The speed is something I didn't really like immediately like notice that you brought up. It's a good point. I think this might be the best team in the league if you dropped if like obviously like in a perfect world, right?
Hmm.
If Kyurem and Mega Metacham became like Latios and like some fast fighting or psychic, like I don't know, like Zero Aura. I know it's not either fighting or psychic, but like you get the point, right?
Yeah,
Like like something that's faster than 195 is your offensive mons
I
that are also really strong.
hold on. Let me in a hypothetical world. I'm actually gonna this one. I'm even gonna take a look at the tiers. I think that if let's see, what's a good fast option here. I think that like I don't. Yeah, I think
Not
that
much left, like Spectrier, but like Spectre Mega Metacham isn't terrible,
it's not something
actually.
that's left, but I think that like no, Grimmsnarl's Fairy is pretty important. I was gonna say like getting a better tier two on the fast offensive side than Grimmsnarl. Like it's not an option, but like Weavile just to get something fast and hard hitting would be nice. But like I don't know,
And
maybe
Nia Lego would have been a good option, I think.
Nihilego would
Obviously,
have been
like
a good option. Yes,
I was
that's
looking at it for
perfect.
my team as well, but like obviously Nia Lego can do more than just slapping a Specs or Scarf and spamming moves. Um,
Yeah.
like like this team would also really benefit from a toxic spike setter as well. Now that I think about it,
Hmm.
like Nia Lego could do so much, but the thing is, like you have the defense to withstand any hits, but then you could just snowball with Beast Boost, like kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like we're generally like feel the same about this team.
Yep. Um, Kyurem is the Pokemon representation. It's bulky, it's hard hitting, even if it only has two options for hard hitting, really, but
Hmm.
it's still scary.
Yeah, agreed. Don't overlook Kyurem, and if you do, you will suffer.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know why I've thought this, but so many teams in like it doesn't matter, but I feel like so many teams are super weak to freeze dry, and
Yeah.
if Kyurem is the best freeze dry mon, so as such, so many teams are really weak to Kyurem.
Mm. And like literally like the tier list of like how what Pokemon beats everybody's team. It goes like Mamo, Kyurem, like everything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ice Ground is such a dumb dual stab. Holy moly.
Uh, Ready
Ready to
for
move on to
12?
craft team?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Our overlord. This is a team.
This
Um,
is a team.
it is a team. It's not a bad one, but I don't think it's like a particularly great one either. I
Yeah,
know a lot of people are saying this is like a great team, mostly because everybody thinks Dragapult is like, you know how I feel about Dragapult.
yeah,
I think Dragapult overrated beyond all hell.
I think we're
Yeah.
generally agreed on Dragapult. I think we agree to differing degrees. I think that it is
Yeah.
overrated, but because people don't use the right sets, you think it's
Yes.
just overrated in general, which is fair. I do too, but like it's a
Yeah.
great
I'm not
mon,
gonna
but
sit
it's
here and say it's
definitely
bad, but like it's not like you must pick this first every time Mon levels of good at
yeah,
all.
super agreed.
Um but yeah, sorry, that tangent aside, I do think that like the speed gap between Dragapult and Pinsir kind of sucks a little
Hmm.
bit. Um and Mega Pinsir is less good now than it was before because of the aerial 8 nerf and the loss of
Oh,
return.
that's right. I didn't even
So
think about that.
stab flying quick attack is still really fucking nice. Like that like it's the Pinsir's the only mon who could do that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Um but it's hurting less
Hmm.
and it's not gonna be able to like what is it gonna click? Like body slam I think it gets is like it's stab now. Which isn't
Body
bad.
slam
It's
or
better than
facade for anti Will-O-Wisp.
body slam is like better than like a lot of other normal mons. Like Lopunny has to rely on facade or like mega kick or whatever.
Yeah.
But like yeah. I think the defense here is pretty good though.
Yeah. Um
Um yeah.
I I'm very weird on this team. I think that this team has I like a lot of elements of this team. I don't actually bring this up often, but I think Mega Pinsir is I even with I'm agreed that the removal hurts it, but I still think Mega Pinsir is a great one of my favorite megas,
Oh, I
partially
agree.
for
It's tier
cap
2 too, right?
reasons. No, it's tier one, sadly,
Oh,
with
yikes.
reason. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
if
Okay. If
you
it was
got
tier 2, I would
40,
have been all over this. Yeah,
if
it's
it
a
was
great
tier
mega.
two, I would straight up call it the best mega in draft, just because 40
Mega B drill disagrees with you, I think, but
No, well, okay, yeah, those two would be the best two megas
yeah,
in draft because the point value would be worth it for
yeah,
such good mons. But like, I think that this is another instance of a secretly really good defensive team that just happens to have some good offense to put
yep.
it on front. I put it. I the representation I had was Togekiss, which was that it is a defensive team. It's a bulky mon, but if you let it click nasty plot, it can suddenly become a lot more scary on the offensive front. And I think that if you let Mega Pinsir or Dragapult set up while as you're trying to deal with all of the defensive regenerator and self recovery mons, you will find yourself having a bad time very suddenly.
Yeah. I agree. One of my main notes was that all of the defense mons here are capable of putting out very strong offensive pressure,
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
very very good and makes the team a lot scarier than it should be.
Absolutely
And,
agreed.
um and this team I think Chandler and Dragapult overlap a bit, especially if Kraft is gonna run the normie Dragapult set. um but like Chandler provides a very nice alternate, like something that can come in late and just click Shadow Ball and like win
Hmm.
once like everything that walls it is like down. Dragapult can also do that without needing to be scarfed. Pincer can also do that. So like, if this defensive core can like chip down the opponent and outlast enough for like Dragapult or Pincer to come in and just click buttons when everything's weakened, I think this team can function really well in that environment with that
Yep.
playstyle. Um, and like, yeah, the issue is it's that game plan is going to become a bit harder because of the speed gap, meaning everything is going to be able to invest in bulk, like the
I'm
Latios and
yeah.
I unironically think that the loss of Inteleon for the speed tier for to be able to respect that is actually kind of bigger than one might think at first glance. I like Empoleon, don't get me wrong. I really like it here, actually.
Hmm.
But I wish there was another way to close that gap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, 3 Mons at base 105 speed. One of those needs to
Oh
go.
wow. Yeah.
I don't know what Manectric is doing here. I know it's an electric. You already have Donphan though for Lightning Rod. I was talking to Kraft. He wanted it specifically for Lightning Rod. I told him Togedemaru would have been a slightly better fit in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
with Nuzzle and a Steel type, especially if he kept Inteleon. But yeah, I think Zebstrika would have been. He was also looking at Zebstrika. That would have been not bad.
Yeah.
116 speed, I think, so it gives you a little bit of a gap closer.
Hmm.
Um, Flame Charge SD, Troika, spamming Wild Charge, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like this team is like solidly like mid upper mid, I think, somewhere around there, maybe, but not like top
I
five.
I have a little more mid lower, but
That's fair.
I think that it is not too far off. The mid tiers, especially for me, are pretty close together. I don't have a. I think that there's a clear best set of teams and a clear lower set of teams, and everything
Agreed.
else is kind of just really good and hard to rank.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. So yeah, we'll have fun figuring that out soon.
Yeah. Oh, and just to
Yeah, of
again
course.
numbers. 8 for pain because Mega Pinsir and Dragapult are inherently scary, and also Regenerator cores. 8 for weakness because of all the defensive options, and 8 for versatility because I think a lot of it's not it should be higher, but I think that it's limited by Mon selection. I think that Mons can run a bunch of different sets, which is good. Like you said, the defensive
Yeah.
Mons can still offensively hit, but I think this is another case of teams. It's going to be predictable what comes against you when you are building against this team.
Yeah, I agree, for sure. And there's a
All
bit
right.
of overlap. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
On to the next one.
All right.
Hello, Dragon Dance,
Hello,
B
Dragon
team.
Dance. Hello,
This is
Dragon Dance,
clearly
the
a me
team.
team, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna give it. Still treating it like any other team because it's a
Oh,
me
for
team.
sure. I don't think
Um,
it's bad. I do think it is in the previously mentioned lower rings of teams, but
I agree. Um,
it's not inherently bad. It's like
it's not inherently bad. Yeah.
it has a bunch of Dragon Dance users. That's inherently scary.
Shane needs to thank the lucky stars that Pokemon Stadium exists, or else this team would be a lot worse.
Oh yes.
Because honestly, I think, like, obviously, like, Lapras, Snorlax, Steelix gives him like a serviceable defensive trio, I suppose.
Tyranitar
Arcanine can
too.
also be defensive. Yeah, T-Tar, but like I think Sand hurts this team more than it helps it. So like I don't know. I guess you could
That's
run
fair.
Unnerve T-Tar. Like
Yeah, but then you're not. You don't want to.
you
You
don't
would
want to do
run
that.
under for the offensive sets. You want Sandstream specifically to make it a special wall.
Right. Like the main reason I'm like
Vestitar,
I don't like
baby.
Sandstream here is that you lose multi-scale on Dragonite. It's like really
Yeah,
bad for this team.
yeah, that's entirely fair. And I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you can
You could
run
run special defensive Aerodactyl maybe. I mean, I guess.
you can run
Unironically.
safety goggles Dragonite.
Yo. Unironically not bad if you're gonna bring T-Tar, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But did you have anything like in particular you wanted to talk about with this team?
Um Honestly, not really. I give it a 6 for versatility. I think this one's going to be super predictable to fight against. I think it does
Yeah,
have options, like we said, but I don't think it's going to get to experiment too much.
yeah.
Weakness is similarly an 8. Everything is a dragon. You're going to be able to. It's
But did
not
you
going to
say
be.
8 weakness?
Oh, 7, 7, 7, 7.
I would put this weakness to like a 2.
I wouldn't put
Literally,
it
like,
that low. I think that. I'm trying to
how
think.
does this team beat a strong rock type like Flygon and Steelix? That's it.
That's true, but my counterpoint is how many strong rock types are there?
Strong rock
It's
type
like
with ground coverage.
Nihilego, um,
Yeah.
Mega Diancie, the
And Lycanroc,
Lycanrocs, which
that
nobody drafted.
yeah,
Um,
Lycanroc would actually destroy this team.
I'm trying to think about like I'm actually looking through the other teams to
Back
see
attack,
another.
if you want to count that, I guess.
Yes, Takataka. I guess you're weak to stealth rocks, but you can
Yeah.
slap a bunch of. I guess you don't want to
Heavy
slap
boots. Yeah, you don't want
boots.
to slap boots on everything is the thing. And if Charizard needs to come in already mega evolved for it to this team needs to be very smart about how it clears hazards.
Yeah, for
I will
sure.
say though, even though like the second row is very defensively oriented compared to the top row
Hmm.
of on this sheet, I think that this team actually thrives best when it just goes unga bunga
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
stacks something. Because like the thing is, this team still has very much of a fear factor because if it gets one DD up in an optimal situation, you could just lose,
Oh yeah, I gave it
which
like
is
an 8 for
terrifying.
pain specifically just
Yeah.
because it's all Dragon Dance.
Like if Shane smartly sacks in good situations, I can actually see this team doing well. I
Yeah,
genuinely can. Um, that being said, like if an enemy has a Scarfer that's over 100 speed and has a strong rock or ice stab to just spam, you kind of just lose.
it sure would be a shame if there was a certain Mon that was really good at anti setup in your division.
Ah, hmm. I wonder
So
why
we'll,
that Mon got drafted in the first place.
yeah, so I guess we'll be definitely uploading these after our week 2 battles.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Well, judging by how big the file size is gonna be, it might take just a week to
oh
get it
god,
over to me.
true. I'm sorry. We just talked too
No, you
much,
don't have
but
to
it's fun.
apologize. It's funny. No, this is enjoyable. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm super enjoying this. And
Yeah.
I didn't have a great option for what to represent with this, so I
I
just
mean, let's be
did
real. It's
Dragonite.
Gyarados. Oh,
Oh, I
sure.
did
It's
Dragonite
Dragonite.
just
Make Shane
because
angry. Make Shane
Lance.
angry.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, but
Also
like
that.
unironic. I guess technically Gyarados would also work, but like the idea was that it's kind of still defensive, so multi-scale applies for the team. But like,
Actually, yeah. Defensive Dragonite might be the play here most weeks.
yeah, I don't
Like
have too
Boots
much else to
Dragonite.
say.
Yeah. Well, I have one other thing to say. Fun fact: even
Yeah,
though it's not a dragon type, Ambros's Japanese name is literally Denryu, which means electric dragon. There's your Pokemon fun fact that you never asked for.
hell yeah, I liked
Hell
that
yeah.
fact.
Perks of being kind of bilingual. Got him.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. I want to move on to Wailingpen's Teamaru.
I'm there.
This is a team.
This is a team.
It's not bad and it's not like great. It's like it it's scary, but it's not like I look at it, I'm simultaneously scared and not worried at the same time,
Yeah,
which is a weird thing to like say.
this team has a bunch of mons that I absolutely hate fighting, and then it has the rest of the team. Like Mr. Rhyme is here, Licky Licky is here, Mimikyu
Licky
is
Licky's
here.
kind of okay on this team. I
It's
hate
kind
to
of
say
okay
it.
on this team. I'm not
It's a
saying
wish
any of
master.
these options are bad,
Yeah.
but like I'm saying that when you compare it to Thunderous, Metagross, Finny, and Garchomp being here, it's a
It's
lot
like
less
very
scary.
underwhelming. I'd throw Moltres in the upper tier. Like I think Moltres is underrated.
Moltres
Uh
is underrated, but it is again no, yeah, I'd put it in there. But like Mimikyu and Muck and Tangela are all great synergy with that
yeah.
for Ring. I think Excelgor is hyper underrated for a tier 4 option. I
Hmm.
actually was going to draft it. I think
I really like Excelgor on this team.
I
a
don't
lot,
think you
actually.
sniped me, but I think you took it while it was still on my main consideration for a team. But my team was so fluid that that didn't really mean anything.
Right. Yeah,
Um, yeah,
you know, did you have anything else to add to
not
that?
really. It's got good
Yeah,
cores with Poison Steel, Dragon. I'm like this has a 10 weakness. I think this team's going to be hard to break realistically,
agree.
even though it's offensive oriented kind of. I gave it a 9.5 for pain because Finney's here. That's the whole reason. I just hate Finney. I just hate fighting Finney so much.
Same. Dude, like, of course, the one time I was lucky enough to have Urshifu drafted before it got banned to every league in existence, I had a Feeny in my division. Why?
Oh god, yeah.
Why does Poison Jab not two-hit kill this thing? It's so stupid.
9 out of
Why
10
is
for
Feeny so fat?
versatility. God. And Finney is the representative because it's
Of
Finney, and
course
I
it is.
still just I don't want to like I'm not trying to overrate Finney, but Finney is
It's really annoying.
it's just really annoying and such a good draft mon.
I agree, because like I think strategies revolving around status are underrated, and Feeney's just like, nope, I'm gonna shut that down. So against like if you played Wailing, I don't know if he's in your out of conference, but like, oh he is in your.
Yep,
Oh no, we're in your conference. You play in week 4,
interconference,
so like
yeah.
you can't glare this guy.
I
There
can't
goes
glare
that
him.
idea,
Yep.
right? Like that's tragic. Like the fact that Feeney just denies like any sort of like status strategy is insane to me. I think it's
Yeah.
really busted. Misty Train. The one notable other thing that hasn't been said yet about this team that I think is worrisome.
Mhm.
Remember that one team that relied on like Mega Caesar to set rocks or defog or something? I don't remember.
Yeah.
This team's only rocker is Mega Garchomp. That's a problem.
Metagross I think
I don't
has
think Metagross got
rocks.
rocked.
I'll check.
I'll check right now
Oh, thank you.
if my computer will agree with me because my computer's been dying on me. I think,
To be
but
fair,
that's the
even
thing.
if
Neither
it
of those ones really
does,
want to run it.
yeah,
Yeah. Metagross. Okay, yeah, you're right. It does get rocks, but still, like you said, neither of them want to run it. And Excelgor does get spikes, which I think is underrated for this team. But like this,
it's
like
still
the rockers
limited.
don't want to run rocks.
It's
Yeah,
limited hazards, which is not great for a team that
with
honestly
defensive.
is super great on a defensive front.
Yeah, I wish this team had more rocks flexibility and like T spikes obviously isn't going to be as good because Feeny exists, but like having a rocker that can be more dedicated to rocking and defensive as opposed to
Yeah,
something like Metagross or Garchomp that wants to be offensive, I think would be a bit more helpful for this team.
maybe
But it's
like
like
there's a tier 4 instead of Mr. Rhyme because I
I like spin on this team though. I do.
I do too.
But like
That's
yeah,
fair.
I wonder Claydol would have been perfect for this
Well,
team, actually.
we like spin, but we also are saying that it needs more hazards. So
Yeah. Like Claydol would have been perfect for this team.
yeah,
Um just like from a quick glance and wow, Aromatisse went undrafted. Interesting. Um
noted for later. If I need to trade up since I still have 60 free points.
understandable. Gastrodon doesn't get rocks, that's the saddest thing.
Yeah. God, I wish it did. That would have made my
I know.
other
I mean it
old
would
team.
make it really dumb.
Yeah. Make it a tier 3 probably, or
Oh,
tier 4.
easy. Easy, because Swampert's in tier 3, yeah.
Yeah, but
Just
Swampert
looking at
has flip turn.
just yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like the one thing it has over Gastrodon right now.
Yeah.
And rocks, sorry. Looking at like the tier 4, I think Bronzong gets rocks, right? But that's like
Yeah.
if you really wanted like a defensive steel psychic, that's an option you could go.
Mm-hmm.
Or Baracle, I guess. Like there's not a lot of good rockers in tier 4 to be fair, so maybe like he felt like
That's fair.
Metagross was his best play, but I don't know. I
Well,
mean that
you
is
can
tier 3
always, yeah, you can always just. I doubt I don't know what's in tier 5, and I'm not asking either of us to look because there's a million things.
Tier
But you
5
don't
is a
have to
bajillion.
use
Yeah.
all 1,000 points if there's a good tier
True.
5 option still. Just something to
Regigigas is right
consider.
there. Unironically.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped Golurk? I thought Golurk went drafted. Huh.
No.
Is there a spinner? And I mean, Carbink is there. Alolan Golem is there, unironically, for rocks and pivoting. I think that's not bad. You lose spin though. Yeah, there's options. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through the entirety of tier 5. That would be too long. But like, yeah, I think if you can get a more dedicated rocker defensively, I think it. Armaldo gets rapid spin, doesn't it?
Yes.
Armaldo's right there.
Armaldo, baby.
Too bad there's no Urshifu to battle armor counterplay, but like Armaldo, like you don't have a bug type either. Oh no, you have Excalibur. Oh well. But like it doesn't matter. They don't
Yeah.
really stack weaknesses because rock covers for all that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I
Are
don't know.
we?
Yeah. Are we okay? I'm gonna
Is it
stay
your
quiet for
turn?
this one. Yeah, it's my
All
turn.
right. Here we go. I am. I really love this
Oh
team.
my
I'm
god.
super biased, obviously, but like, even not even because we're doing this PR together, but like Mega Beedrill, Latios, Swampert. You wouldn't know that, but I like Swampert. The Raticate choice. I think Ditto is. I think people are occasionally overly hard on Ditto as a draft pick. I think it is a
I have no idea why this thing hasn't
fantastic
been tier
draft
3
pick.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
like
I
this thing
think
needs
that
to be in tier 3.
it is a fantastic option. It allows for great flexibility and the team building pressure it brings is great for anti setup. I think Claydol is a great option. I've wanted to draft Tornadus T a few times now. I have not gotten a chance to, but I think it's a good option. We've talked about it before, though.
Yeah,
Um, um, I think that you made a great choice with Florges Melmetal as a combo. I think
thank you.
Melmetal is a great mon that I think I understand why people don't think it's like the best thing, but I think people kind of come around like people kind of overrated or underrated, and I think it's like exactly in between where most people rate it.
I can
But
get behind. Yeah,
yeah, I think this team has great offensive pressure. I think the higher end speed is a great uh the speed tiers are great for the higher end. Mega Beedrill to Latios to Tornadus T is a great upper end of speed. Your defensive options are great in the form of like half of your team, including some of your offensive options.
hmm
Like Florges, Swampert, and kind of Rotom, and then Melmetal, which is both offensive and defensive. But like Latios and Tornadus can both pretty easily be defensive or offensive options too. Like you could definitely run like Defog Roost Latios if you needed to. You probably won't need to or want to, but you can, and that option I think is underrated to
yeah.
consider. Mega Beedrill is also just always a great pivot alongside Tornadus T, um, and Swampert to Claydol, Rotom. Like, there's very little that I think this team is actively lacking. Um,
I mean, the only thing I'd say is like a dark type. I don't know.
yeah, a dark type. That
Although
is,
eradicate.
yeah, that's the one thing. You are compared to me with three Eviolite users. I would say you are uh the most knockoff weak team, like or
Yeah,
dark in general. A solid dark type will eat through this team pretty quick.
or just as like my hope.
Yeah. That said, I gave it 9 across the board. Like, I don't want to fight Tornadus, Latios, Melmetal, and Mega Beedrill together. And add in the defensive cores, and that's scary. Similar sentence to the weakness and versatility. I think everything has a bunch of options. Melmetal is what
Yeah,
I represented it with because, like I said, super great offensive pressure in your main four offensive mons, but just as easy to like focus in on the defense with Claydol, Melmetal, Florges, Swampert, and even Latios.
yeah. I'm glad you chose Melmetal's like the face of the team because like I I don't think I've ever seen Melmetal do well in any of the draft leagues I've been in, and I think I'm in a position where I can finally have a team succeed with it, and I
Yes.
want to be able to show that. Mostly because I think having a strong steel type, like I've noticed that like when I have a strong steel type, I tend to do like a bit better because I think like when my steel type is like Stunfisk and Galler, things do not end well.
Yeah.
That was the conscious decision I made before. Don't ask why, but like, it was also my only ground type. That was another mistake. But yeah, like
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I would hope with the amount of time I spent thinking about this that it would turn out okay. But like the last two picks, kind of like Rodham, Eradicate. Like I kind of like my brain was dead. I'm like, I'll just pick things. Rodham gives me an extra pivot, which is nice. I think the pivoting on my team is also really good.
Yeah, Rotom gives you a extra defog option over
And a spin
Tornadus
blocker.
and
Yeah.
Spin Blocker too. Yeah. We talked about Raticate, how it is. I honestly do think it is a good pick, but I think we both agree that there are technically better picks, but
Oh yeah.
it's Raticate. You gotta go for Raticate.
I gotta go for the mascot pick at least once because Rattata is banned. Shame.
Ugh.
Um, but yeah, no, like I don't even mind saying what I was gonna like pick because like even if somebody wanted to be mean and snipe me, I mean, have fun using these mons anyways. Like Shiftry and Cacturn were the two I were looking at because I don't even have a grass type either, so I don't even have like a fire water grass. I have a fire water. I have a
Mhm.
fire water Eradicate is what I have. But yeah, like Shiftry would have been real nice, I think. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it like doesn't matter because Eradicate go burr, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
ready to move on to the
this. Yeah. Last one.
final team.
I just
Uh,
have the. I can. I forget what we were gonna do since there's kind of
we can
two
go over
teams.
both
Yeah. I'll get the
because I think it's very different. My assessments of them would be different, in my opinion at
Yeah,
least.
for sure.
And I
Because I
mean, no
definitely.
offense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's more points in my favor. You want to technically say that like I beat the team that would be widely considered the better version,
Oh
but
yeah, I'm definitely agreed that the. Oh my god, did Kraft get rid of the draft recap literally mid us
no,
doing
I'm
this?
gonna I'm
Oh no!
I'm literally gonna ping him right now.
Oh my god, I can't believe this. Now I don't know what the old team was at all. I hope I'm
I'm
not just
literally pinging
missing it.
him right now.
Oh my god. I really hope I'm not just missing it. That would be
No,
embarrassing.
I
But
think I think he actually did hide it. I saw him in the dock.
oh my god, that's incredible. Oh my god, I forgot to write down the numbers for my rating too. For the old team. I'm totally lost on it.
Understandable.
Oh, I remember it now, like vaguely, and why it was good at least, but
Oh,
I don't.
Kraft is back on the dock.
Oh my god.
Okay, is he unhiding it for us? Is this what we expect from our Overlord? Are we getting a good Overlord? Oh my God, it's back.
Oh my god, it's back. Thank you, Kraft. You're a true hero.
5 seconds, hurry.
Okay. Zapdos, Heatran. Yeah, like, this team is really good.
I
Zapdos,
know. I think it was
Heatran,
it was like memeing for the
Gallade.
5 seconds,
Okay.
but like I think. But yeah, I think pre-trades this was like a top three team, like easy.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely in the top end. Like, Heatran, Zapdos, and Mega Gallade is a great offensive defensive mixed pressure between them.
and even like the lower tiers, like Weezing covers for Heatran super well. Azumarill like covers for like Zap and Crocodile like super well. Like just there's
Mm-hmm.
so much type synergy all across the board.
Nihilego is just a great mon in
I
general.
love Nihilego. I think
Nihilego
it's
is
I think it's
amazing.
actually surpassed Ditto and Ninetales, which is weird because I draft those two like every season. It's like my most used mon at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nihilego is like the perfect mix of like it's so unique in what it does, and not a lot of other things can do it. I guess that's saying the same thing, but basically, having a special rock type that can set toxic spikes is dumb, and
Yeah,
also
having
sweep.
special rock type in general is like there's two
And Archeops is
and
the other
three
one,
if you want
sort
to
of.
count Archeops. I guess like everything that
Wait,
got
what's the other?
Meteor
Is
Gem.
Dancy the other one?
Yeah, Diancie is the other one, and even that technically still
Well,
wants to
Power
run.
Diamond Storm is physical.
Yeah, but you can still run Power Gem if you don't
Oh,
need
I
the
guess you
defense
can.
boost. it's a great mixed attacker, but there is like sometimes you want the extra defense and just focusing in
Yeah,
special is good. But like
that's fair.
I think the only weak part of the original team really is like Miss Magius, which is more just because I don't
You
think
just
Miss
wanted a ghost type.
Magius. That's
Yeah.
fair, but again, like as I said, there's so many good ghost types.
I like the tier 5 ghost types better than the tier 4 ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I think that I'm actually gonna take a quick
Except for
look.
Gorgeist. I think that was a tier 4. I like that.
Yeah, the grass
I think
ghosts
Gorgeist.
both like
Yeah, both
Jellicent is a
Charmant.
tier four.
Oh, Jellicent. Wait, Jellicent would have been much better than.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
Jellicent. I was gonna say another option, but I grabbed it round one, so obviously nobody's gonna get Corsola
Corsola
Galar.
Galar. Yeah,
Yeah,
power moves.
but I
I also
think
think
that's a
regular Adino is like.
fantastic tier four.
I think it's much better in tier 4 than it is in tier 3 for sure.
Oh yeah, I would not draft it as a tier three.
Remember when I put that up for vote last season? You're welcome.
Thank
Oh,
you.
but like, yeah, I also think regular Audino, even though like it was a pain to break when I fought it week
Uh
1,
huh.
I think it's actually really bad. I might be one of the few people on the planet who thinks Mega Audino's better than regular. Hold my
I
beer, or my cola or
I
whatever.
think
Like,
I'm in a weird spot. It's really weird. I think Audino can be good, like both of them. I think both Audinos are super underrated, Mega and normal. But I don't think I like it here specifically. I think that it was here to
yeah,
specifically be a bulky regenerator mon, but I have a
yeah, with Heal Bell, I think.
yeah, with heal bell. And that's fair. And wish. Like
Yeah,
it has tools. It has the tools to function and it but I think similarly to Miss Magius, I just kind of don't particularly like it for the team.
yeah. I think Miss Magius here like kind of is fine because it gives him a special attacker above 100 speed that isn't like Zapdos. I can
That's
like
fair.
and that isn't Noivern. That doesn't rely on a move that lowers its stats or a 70% accuracy. Like I can get behind that.
That's entirely fair.
I what my issue with it is that Audino is extremely my issue with Audino and why it's bad on not in general but in this team in particular is that it's so passive that it invites setup. And this
Yeah.
team really doesn't want things to set up on it because it's so bulky.
Hmm.
Like
That totally makes sense. I'm
I can
agreed
count.
immediately.
Yeah, I can count more than I can count the amount of times like a passive defense mon comes in, Audino included, and literally just hits me with knockoff, but I don't care when I'm at +2 all of a sudden, and I get a free turn because now it has to switch out,
Yeah.
or risk me set up like, even more, right? Like that, and it like if Audino had teleport or like a pivoting, God forbid it had U-turn or like volt switch, like then it'd be a lot better in my eyes. But like
Yeah.
you have to make hard reads with this mon, and that's not conducive to success over a long course of time because of consistency.
Yeah.
So I don't like Audino,
That's entirely fair.
but it's a minor like squabble in the grand scheme of things because the rest of this team is insane.
Yeah. Um
So
I I don't feel like doing rankings. The
understood. Do you
numbered
want to talk about
rankings.
the new version of
Yeah,
the
because
team?
I do
Yeah,
have the numbers for this one.
honestly, what we could do is that like we don't have to do it now. What we can do between now and when the video actually comes out, we
Hmm.
can like I'll just like pop like our number rankings in like the description or whatever.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Force
good.
people to actually look at it.
Yes. Um I think this new team is okay, but I think
Yeah,
it is in the it went from higher end to lower end pretty fast.
it still has like some decent pieces from the first team, obviously, because you can't really like tear the entire team down with 5 trades. But
Yeah.
I, why are there 3 water types on this team all of a sudden? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why did you keep Miss Magius and Audino of all the things you could have traded with 5 trades?
Exactly.
Like what?
Like
Like why? I don't want to be mean, but I don't. If you're watching this, please like tell me what your thought process was because I'm genuinely curious and I want to like that's the thing, right? Like part of the reason I love draft leagues a lot is like because it's interesting for me to see how people approach their teams in general as a whole and like week to
yeah.
week. And like I don't see what the plan is here besides Burr, Dracovish, Click, Fish's Rend.
Yeah.
Like but if that's what you're using 5 trades for, why? Because like Dracovish overlaps with Haxorus, it overlaps with Primarina, it overlaps with Polytoad, like like literally every like I love the Fortress edition. That's the only edition I like.
Yeah. I think that this team I'm let me see, is this the one? No, that's in my division, isn't it? Yeah. You will still have to fight Kyurem, and of all of the teams that
Oh
I
yeah,
think
Kieran.
are weak to Kyurem, this is you cut out a little there.
Sorry, no, I said Kira. I was agreeing with you. I think
Okay.
unironically, Spadef Audino is like the
The
one answer to.
oh my god, it totally
I
is.
hate it so much.
I guess Spadef Gallade too, which you've talked about liking.
Yeah, max HP, max Spadef, bulk up Gallade can put in some work. Like people
Hmm,
need to run defensive Mega Gallade because its support move pool is dumb.
fair.
Or you could run physically defensive Gallade with Calm Mind. Like that's a thing you could do. I've
Hmm.
seen it work. Like people ignore the fact that this thing has base what 110, 120 Spadef. It's like
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
its defense is much better than regular Glade. It's like plus 30, so it actually
Hmm.
like can eat a hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like obviously the fact that Gallade and Zapdos are still here helps a lot for this team.
Maybe that's why Mr. Rhyme was on the one team, specifically to have a freeze dry mon
Oh,
for this. Not actually,
well,
because
well,
this would
but
have
that
been
was before.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was just like I mean to be honest, I've been trying to think about like why Mr. Rhyme was here this whole time.
I think it's literally
Still,
just as a spinner.
yeah, that makes
Like that's
sense.
the only thing you can think of. Or Wailing is just like haha funny tap dance mon. I want it.
But
Honestly, what is it? A tier 4 now? Or is it tier
uh
5? It was a tier 3 last season. That was something.
it's a tier 4 now.
It's probably one of the best ice types in tier 4. I mean, I think tier
Yeah.
5 ice types are better.
Mhm.
Oh no, wait, Vanillix is. Oh well, Vanillix is weird because like it literally has no coverage. I didn't really like using Vanillix. Any steel type just comes in and like. I
Yeah.
think Mr. Rhyme is the best offensive ice type in the. Frosmoth is too slow and fire weak. Avalugg is probably the best ice type, but it's defensive.
Mhm.
Arctivish is only good on certain teams, like specifically like hail teams.
Yeah.
And then again, it's using the water move and not the ice move.
Mhm.
So like yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, I think like there's not a lot of teams that I hate, so that's like a very good thing.
Yeah, I'm
And there's a
agreed.
lot of strong teams. And like you said, there's a lot of just teams that are good, which isn't a bad thing. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot of, but it's hard to like rank separate them because they're just so. A lot of coaches did a good job of making good teams, but that means that it's harder to separate them.
Yeah.
Oh, clap, clap, clap.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Holy shit, it's 4:20.
Yeah, sorry.
No, 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 no. Oh wait, no, wait. Oh no, yeah, okay. So I get confused because my like computer clock is like Eastern time,
Oh yeah.
but it's like not. It's like 1:20. Yeah. But yeah. So is there anything else you wanted to like? Any final thoughts or like anything?
No, I think that this is a pretty great round of drafting from pretty much everyone. Like the fact that there's that other than my own team and the meme team, the biggest complaints I had for teams were like this is a good set of mons, but a lack of cohesion. I think
Yeah.
is a pretty good sign. Which because I am in a firm opinion that a lack of cohesion isn't that bad as long as you know how to make the good mons shine, because that's like what I did with Poltergeist, in my opinion. Poltergeist and Ndidi, it's like what I shine at personally, I think. But
I
like,
agree.
um, you do have to put in the work to make them shine. But like, if that is the biggest, the only real complaint I had about some of the lower end teams, that's a pretty good sign for everybody's
Yeah.
team, I would say.
And there's there's only like one team that I can sit here with confidence right now and be like, this is not gonna win the league, and that's obviously because it's a meme team. But like
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to eat those words when I lose next week. But like my point is like there's no team that's bad enough that like like a skilled coach can't overcome that relative weakness of a team compared to like say like one of the stronger teams in the league. Like anything is possible. There's not that much of a gap here.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. So
yeah. Do
uh yeah.
we have a 1 to 16 ranking that we want to say? I still have one that's written, but like
I'm
barely
curious to hear
applicable.
yours actually.
Okay,
Um
yeah, I'll go up it. I will have to like go through the teams just to remind myself, and I might like change the order mid saying them.
that's honestly fine. It forces people to watch to the
Yeah.
got him.
So this is back when I was writing up the notes. This is what I
Mhm.
ended up on. I will leave my own team out, even though, but I will just say it's my team is in like the bottom four, obviously.
That's like
um,
understandable.
I put Schoen with the Lance team in last. I still think it's a good team, but I think it is. I think it's gonna be too easy to prep against. Um, Next up was the new version of the team that dropped.
Oh wow, you have it that low. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad, but I think that like I didn't say, but I said that its representation was Dracovic, which is that it can actually still hit really hard,
Mhm.
but it's kind of not super. It's a bit of a one-trick pony. I think this
Yes.
the new version of the team. It's still good,
Agree.
but it's not going to have too much t- trickery to do with it.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm in agreement. Yeah.
I'm probably going to get a weird. Yeah, these numbers are so weird. Next up was Oremity.
Okay.
Um, let's see, 10. 10
So you're like
is
somewhere in
Gators.
between these
I
two.
put Gators way lower than I remembered. That's
Oh
wild.
wow. Okay.
Um, Maybe Gators was supposed to be God. Yeah, like
I
I
mean,
said,
honestly, where you have Gators checks out where with Craft and T4 you had Gators,
yeah,
which I still
because
think is low.
Kraft is right next. Speaking of,
Okay. That's lower
um,
than I do like how our rankings are different than T4s and Crafts because A, variety, and B, it shows that like you know it shows two things. A, these teams might be closer than you think, and B, like there's a lot of things that we might see that somebody else might not in a team, and vice versa. So
mhm. Next up is Darkingtons, which in retrospect might be, especially after what we talked about, might be lower than the other two, last two I just
yeah.
mentioned. But again, I made
Mhm.
this a while ago. So, um, next up is Bucs. Actually, that's lower than I
Oh,
remember too.
he
I
was in
think
the
it's
top
just
three, and oh, that Bucks is not going to be happy when he sees.
again, I I think it is primarily just because like I think so many of these teams are really effing good. It's
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
I think from like this point on, it became really hard to like even like long term place them.
Mhm.
Next up was the Dzbanned one, the
Okay.
Cartana team.
Oh yeah. Okay. I can get behind that. I
Um,
think.
then Cuppa, which
Oh,
is low again, lower than I remembered, but I feel like that's just everything that's not in the top
I'm really curious to
four.
see you have in the top eight. Then what
Yeah,
in the world?
5 is T4U because even with the underused Lele, that is just a solid team.
Yeah.
Um, Next is Wailingpen with the Finny team.
Oh, you have that team really high.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm obviously biased because I think Finny is stupid, but um,
Interesting. Interesting.
you came in at number 4.
Okay.
Next was Pup for third.
Oh,
8 was Kronos. Oh
oh,
my
you had
god, yeah,
Kronos
Kronos
that
was this
high?
high. I
What?
so this I would put Kronos lower after we talked about things. This was again the initial listing. I would probably put
Yeah.
him. I would put him.
I mean, like to be fair, the team is still probably a top half team.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a top
Probably.
half team. I would probably put it right above the Cartana team
Okay, that's fair. I'll
after
note
what
that
we
out.
talked
I'm
about.
writing this down. I'm writing this out, by the way.
Yes,
Where would
thank
you
you.
put yourself? Like in the bottom four exactly,
Yeah.
if you had to pick.
Okay, I would realistically, I put it in second to last currently.
Okay, makes
I
sense.
would, yeah. And then I had Middy as number one. I think that, um,
Everybody likes Middy.
yeah, I
I mean, it's a strong team. I don't
yeah,
think
it's
it's
a
number
strong
one.
team. I completely understand. It doesn't look like a number one team. It's weird because I don't think it looks like a number one team, but I think fighting against it, it is
It's
the
probably a
number one
top three
team.
team though. I'll give
Yeah.
you that.
So yeah, those numbers are super suspect, as I like said every time that I said one that wasn't the bottom five. I think,
Wait
but
a second. You wait. Am I number 3 on your list? Did I do the
you
math right?
you were number, well, after the
After
after
including you.
no, after dropping Kronos, you are top three.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. Right. Okay.
you were top four initially, and then I had Kronos at number two, which I still
So
think
the
that
only
team's
move.
really good. But I completely underestimated how like the physical, the
Yeah.
pure physical, because part of it is because I always think that physical offense is just generically better than special offense because there's more
Eh,
special, because there's more
all-
special walls than physical.
yeah, but all the physical attacks come with drawbacks.
That's
The
fair.
good ones.
I did not consider that. That is purely a general physical special statement.
Yeah, that's fair. Um. Okay, so the only change I made was moving Kronos from second to seventh. Did you want me to move Gators up anywhere, or
Um,
right now he's number 12
which
between Oremity and Craft?
um, yeah, put him at eight.
Put him at
I,
eight,
I,
and then just
I,
shift everybody down.
yeah, I think so.
Um,
Like
this is upside down.
next time we do this, I'm gonna like have to like take a screenshot of every team just so that I can like and
Yeah,
like
look at
put
them
them in
all.
a, yeah, put them in Photoshop and like put, so I can look at them all at once and like move them around from there, because it's like, even like talking about it and looking at how I wrote them down, it's just so hard to like visualize what everything's placed as.
Hmm.
That'll be for next time.
Speaking of next time, are we doing like a mid-season? Are we doing like quarterly? Like, what are we doing?
I'd be good for mid-season, I think.
Okay.
It might depend on, I we'll see how much teams change and how like
Right. Well, yeah,
I think that seeing how players play is important, but I am more
yeah,
interested in seeing the combination of players play and if trades happen.
agree. So yeah, so we can give it like mid-season and like yeah, I'm cool
Yeah,
with that. Um, I'm trying to like quickly like think of a list that I would make real quick.
yeah, no worries.
Uh, you want to like spend time saying random stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Give me like
Oh
one
my
minute,
god,
and
wait,
then
what? Why is Durant here? Did I? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Durant.
There's a.
It's tier
I
four
think
now, right?
another trade happened like mid us talking.
Oh, oh. Wait,
Yeah,
who picked up Durant?
Kronos traded Seismitoad for Durant,
I
so it
hate
has
that.
even less special.
That's so bad for him. I actually really dislike that trade.
That's so
I'm gonna
wild.
get distracted now. That's a
I'm so
really bad trade.
sorry.
I hate that. Because okay, it sort of fixes the speed gap, right, between Rillaboom and Weavile, I guess.
Yeah,
But now you lose two strong special attacks even more, and now you just wall physical attacks even harder. Like the only thing it does is close the speed gap, and that's not the trade you want to do for that.
it
If you wanted to close the speed gap, you want to get a special mon in there.
it also adds
Wait,
a pivot, which isn't the most important thing, but I think that pivots are
Durant.
always good.
Wait, Durant gets a pivot
I
move?
think I'm pretty sure Durant gets
I don't
U-turn.
think Durant gets U-turn. If it did, I'd know. If
I'll double check.
I do not think Durant gets U-turn. I could be
I could
wrong.
be wrong.
The hell is tier 4, right? Or tier 3?
It's tier three because it
Oh
does get
wow, that's
hustled.
overpay for Durant. Ew, I don't like that.
Okay, no, it doesn't get U-turn. I don't know why I thought it did.
Like Tornadus Eye is right there. Like
Yeah, Tornadus Eye would definitely be better.
Espeon is right there. Like for like even how did Darmanitan go undrafted?
Oh my god, did it
It's I mean
really?
it's not for Kronos' team, but it's right there in tier 3 even. It usually gets drafted in tier 2.
Yeah, that's even wild. Wow. I didn't even
If I didn't
consider
want
that.
Sacred Fire, if I didn't want Sacred Fire, Darmanitan would have been on my team. But um Breloom still won undrafted even in tier 3. Pain.
Yeah,
Uh
I wish I like Breloom, but it's
I
so
want
hard
to
to
draft it one
actually.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see it used well in draft. I think it is really hard to use in draft because part of what makes it good is a surprise factor more than anything. I think realistically, Breloom is easy to plan against.
All the good special attackers are like gone.
Yeah,
So Kronos, if you're
Duraldon.
watching this, but he already has Registeel. I mean, I guess it's like you're just trading another water type for another steel type that isn't even like a functional steel type. Like
Maybe Slowking Galar.
I kind of like that because he doesn't have a psychic type.
Yeah, it gives him pivoting, not pivoting. It gives
Hmm.
him a
No, it
good.
does. It gets teleport.
No, not. Well, if he goes for normal Slowking, Galar doesn't get teleport.
Really?
Yeah,
No
otherwise I would.
wonder they run AV all the time. All
Yeah,
right.
exactly. But
Oh,
it
I
still
stand
is
corrected.
a good regenerator mon with 110 special attack and future sight
Yeah.
access. So it's like,
Yeah, like that would have been really good. I mean, obviously it doesn't help the speed problem, but like at this point, like there's not much you can do
yeah,
about it
Espeon
other
would
than
be the
like
best special option for the speed problem, I
and
think,
Magic Bounce is
realistically.
kind of okay for this team actually.
Yeah,
And Morning Sun, you could run defensive Espeon if you wanted to.
you could try.
And pivoting with Baton Pass, it's honestly not like terrible. But yeah, okay. Thank you for letting me rant about that because
Yeah, no worries.
don't get me wrong, I like using Durant, but like again, going back to the consistency thing,
Hmm.
gonna make all your moves 80% accurate, or you're gonna be a gimped tier 3. Like, choose your poison.
Yeah.
Either of them are good. I think if your Durant was tier 4, it would be more palatable. Um,
Yeah.
what was the other team? Oremity. There was a Remedy's team that didn't have like synergy, and was it Darkingtons? Was the other one with like yeah, it was
Yeah, it
Darkingtons.
was Darkington's, but I liked it because it had cool Pokemon that I liked, basically.
Yeah, it's like really close. Like third spots 13 and 12 are like really close for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
7. Hmm. Yeah. Sorry, Craft. I'm gonna have to put you in the bottom half. I think.
Oof. Fair. Oh,
Just
man.
because like it's not that there's a less Craft's team is bad and more like there are teams that are better.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Um.
how I feel about like half of these.
Yeah.
Ladia. Oh yeah. And there's oh god, this is so wild to look at. I you keep doing that, but I'm like there's so many like this is just always the case because people like talk about like making bad picks, but like there's so many good tier ones. Like there's always going to be a good tier one. You don't need to pick a good tier one first.
Right.
There's always going to be a good tier one. Like a
Unless if you want to pick something specifically that you want to use for whatever reason.
yeah, exactly. And there's like bonds that I think are like one of a kind that are worth like grabbing. Like for all that we say about Dragapult, it is the like there's two 140 speed non-megamons realistically, Zero
Hmm.
Aura and Dragapult, and there is something to be said for that.
Well, I do want to note that somebody in the league discussion just commented on Kronos' trade saying, "Nice trade. You don't have a special attack."
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh, well, you see.
Yeah.
um.
Like
So
Urshifu's still
that
here, Toxapec's still here,
oh, yeah, because like people,
Spectrier,
there's a lot of good tier. Yeah, exactly. Like and
Latias
even in
and
tier 2,
Lando.
Like even in why is Lando undrafted? Like even in tier 2, like Nia Lego's undrafted, like
Well,
Raikou is
that one's
undrafted,
because
like
it
Zapdos,
got
Galar.
yeah. Nihilego and Heatran are here because of the
Oh
drop,
yeah, but
but
still.
still, I would have
Still.
jumped on those two if I had reason
If it
to,
fit, yeah.
and I still might.
I'm so like I'm not high on Darmanitan Galar. I'm surprised that didn't get picked up by like same logic as Dracovish getting picked up. You just click a button.
Yeah, it
That's it.
was actually on my potential list. Like, if I didn't like, technically, I still could swap to it at any time from Staraptor or any other tier two. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people like talked about it being a carry, but I'm not actually all that big on Magnezone. I picked it up purely because I thought it would be a good teammate. Like, that was the like one pick I made that was purely for team synergy.
I feel that. And team synergy is still important. Like you
Yeah,
can't
it
ignore it.
absolutely
Yeah.
is. But like, my point is that like I don't I don't like using Magnezone, and I think it's a little overrated how good it is. Like, it's a tier two, and it's a good tier two, but I don't know. I've just never really cared about Magnezone in a competitive sense.
hmm I feel that. It's tough because like if it wasn't quad beak to ground, like
Yeah, and like
be a little better, I think.
it has Maggot Rise, Iron Defense,
Oh
Body
my
Press
god.
now, but like
True.
it's still gonna die to a good fighting type or fire type, and it's not like it can do. I don't know. It's a good mon, but I don't know what the big deal about it is. I think somebody talked about it being a carry, and I just don't see it being a carry when like Staraptor, Superior, Victini, and Mega Diancie are like maybe a little less superior, but like Victini, Staraptor, and Mega Diancie all feel like heavy carries, and like Magnezone and Superior are like they're good mons that are gonna support the team.
Right. And like I would put Dragalge in that category as well.
Yeah, I
I
hope so.
think.
I'm a little worried I'm gonna underutilize it, but I really wanted to use it, so I'm glad I picked it up.
Am I missing a team?
Did
I just
you
casually.
get yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Up, Middy, and there's one more that I'm just missing. Up, Bucs, T4U, Gators, Band. It's one of the new coaches, I think. I'm missing. I got the trade team. Got Shane. Got Pup. Darkington. Got Band. STF. Oremity. I got Oremity. I got Middy. Am I just stupid? Am I mathing wrong? 16, 15, 14, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. What?
Middy, Oremity, Cuppa,
Yeah. I
Buck.
can tell you what I have right now.
Yeah.
So 16 is Shane, unfortunately. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but like you have to do that. I have actually a Remedy at 15th, and
Fair.
then I have you at 14th because I think, like, I mean, well, we already said what we said. I have Darkington at 13th.
Mm-hmm.
That is the. So far, there's no like terribly big differences.
Yeah.
I have the new. I have the Dracovish team at 12.
Yep.
Raft at 11th. Our first big difference is I have Wailing all the way at 10th.
Fair.
Um, I have Kronos at 9th. Dzbanned at 8th. Bucs at 7. Cuppa at 6. D4U at 5. Myself at 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm missing Pup, Middy, and like who? Like, am I blind?
Middy, Oremity, Cuppa, Bucks, Dzbanned, Trico, Darkington, Kronos, me, Gators. Did you say Gators already?
I did not. Thank you.
There we go.
Gators, I think slots. God, I'm really high on this team, aren't I? I think it slots some. I'm gonna say it slots. I say it slots between Cuppa and 2 for you. I think actually. So that's our two big differences are Wailing and Gators. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fair.
like Wailing's team isn't bad. I think I'm weighing the rock pressure as more of a negative than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is weird because like I feel like you were harping on Mr. Rhyme more than I am. Why do I have this team so low actually? I think another thing is that also Misty's terrain kind of like weakens Garchomp a little bit. It's
Mm-hmm.
like awkward. But
Oh
this
yeah,
team is
that's
really
true.
bad. Like I don't know. I like this team, but I think it's like one of the worst like fat teams.
Fair.
But all the fat teams are really good. Like I think Pup has a better fat team. Um, Gators has a better fat team.
Mm-hmm.
I think like like from Wailing all the way to Bucs. So 10 through 7, like you can put in any order, and I wouldn't really like complain.
Yeah.
I think Cuppa is like Cuppa's team is like slightly above those though,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Gators, and then T4U is fourth. So I guess I'm putting myself in the top three, and I hate it. Do we just have the same top three? I don't like this.
You, Middy, and
Pup. I don't. Let me look at Pup again.
Pup.
Make sure I'm not like crazy.
I definitely put it in top three.
Oh, wait, no, I wouldn't put this team. I wouldn't put this team in top three actually. Um, I think this is like Gators tier of a team. Maybe yeah. So I'm gonna put this one actually between Gators and T4U.
Mm. Fair.
So it's 4 instead of 2. So like not like a big difference.
Yeah.
That means I'm at number 2. I don't like this. I'm just gonna swap me and T4U so I'm not top 2.
Fair enough.
Oh, does that mean I'm gonna have Middy first as well? Like I can't I can't argue against it. All right. The more I look at it, with everything you've said, the more I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of just
yeah.
generically all
Its
really good
speed is a bit
mons.
lacking, but it like doesn't matter,
Yeah, you
honestly.
can run Scarf and Fernape to like Scarf and Fernape and Archeops and Dragon Dance Zygarde and kind of just make up for it. It's definitely got a bit of a speed issue, but I don't know how many mons actually can take advantage of that.
But I can't put T4U in good faith second though because Skong Tank literally is an anchor on this team.
uh
Okay, I'm putting myself back in second. Skunk Tank, blame Skunk Tank, not me. I can't. I can't.
I will blame the fact that Lele is underutilizing psychic terrain on the
True.
team instead.
But I don't want to put myself at second because, like, obviously, like, I don't want to like come across as like I'm like selling myself for more than I actually am. But like, I don't genuinely think my team is like second because it has Eradicate on it.
Well, there you go. Both of the two of the top three teams have a mon in their worst slot that is bad. I don't think that's like if you're gonna sacrifice anything, a tier five is not the worst slot to sacrifice
Yeah, exactly.
quality. And I think like going super top heavy is never a bad thing, and sacrificing one tier five slot is not even that top heavy.
Yeah, like it doesn't hurt the overall scheme of my team that much. Like having a knockoff resist would be nice, but like it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I'm gonna press enter here. It's backwards. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we both have Middy at number 1. So congratulations, Middy. You've once again drafted a disgusting team, like you always do. Congratulations. So for once, it seems like the consensus is I drafted a good team, so I'm pretty okay with that. We both have T4U and Pup pretty high. In the top 5. So our top 5 is pretty consistent, except I have Gators higher than you do, and I have Wailing lower than you do. But 4 of our top 5 is the same,
Hmm.
and our bottom 5 is pretty much the same as well, but
Yeah,
slightly
you're
different order.
going to have to edit these in later because I was doing
I
a
will.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. And by edit it mean in later, I mean I'm just gonna slap that into the description.
Fair.
What are video editing skills? Who are these?
Fair
But
and
yeah, it's also like, do I pull an all-nighter territory? So YOLO. It was worth it.
yeah, I had a great time. Thank you for doing this with me.
Oh
I
yeah,
always
thank you
enjoy it.
for. Oh yeah, thank you for doing it with me as well, and thank you for recording this as well because my computer is dying on me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, here's hoping it recorded well enough. I'm
Hope so.
hoping so, but you never know.
I believe in you. It's fine. It's probably fine. If
Yeah,
it's not, then I will cry in solitude alone. Um,
we'll
but
cry
yeah,
together.
we'll cry together. True.
uh,
That's like the name of like a light novel or something. Um, but yeah, no. If you have any like, you as in you the viewer, if you have any complaints or questions or comments or want to just say that we hate you for no reason,
disagree with my genuinely weird opinions on what makes a good team because I did
yeah,
have some questionable decisions. I won't deny that.
so do I always. But yeah, like let us know what you think. And if
Yeah,
you've made it all the way to the end, you are awesome. Thank you for watching.
thank you so much. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. They signed up for it by clicking the watch button. It's their
True.
fault, not ours. But
All
yeah,
right.
no. On that note, yeah, you want to close it out with anything special?
Um, Radicate will be the kill leader.
Which one? We'll find out later. Until next time.
Until next time. See you around the mid season, hopefully.
See ya on the mid-season, hopefully, yeah.